Thank you. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. It is obviously Sunday, June 23rd, 2013, excuse me. And the local time here in Minnesota is 8:09 Central Time. My name is Kafuba Kraman and I will be your host for the show. Tonight we have the privilege, the high honor of hosting some officials of a new political party. The party is named as the Vision for Liberia, for Transformation of Liberia, VOLT for short, VOLT for short. The party officials, my guests, will introduce themselves as they come on. As of right now, I just have two of them. They will introduce themselves, and their introduction will include their background, educational background, life experience, and what else was listed here by the chairman? And their affiliation with the party. They'll tell us about the party. And after that introduction, we will, approach the most senior ranking officials of the party on the show to educate us about the party. What is it we need to know about VOLT, Vision for Liberia Transformation. And so that is the order for the day. That's what we're going to do. And may I also state that tonight we are very fortunate to be online live with Radio Jida. Radio Jida. We are in the process of partnering with each other with Liberian Diaspora Forum, and so they've done this before and they are doing it tonight again. So just as we are on here, we are also on live via Radio Grand Jida. So we want to thank them for doing so. So having said that, I think right now we have two officials already. I've opened another line here. 7676. Would you please state your name? What's your name, sir? 7676. 7270.
Yeah, it's a boo Yonly from Florida.
Yonly, okay. Yonly's here already. 7676. So I've got two officials on. And as the other people come on, we'll open their lines. So I got Yonly on, and I have Honorable Sayzay, Samah on. So if you two on, we want to welcome you. And most importantly, I would like to welcome our guests. So many of them have come on tonight. Certainly way more than I usually have from the beginning of most shows. So that's impressive. So I'd like to turn the floor over to both Honorable Samah and Yonly. Any of you can decide, can begin to, the introduction, introduce yourself, tell us your background, educational background, your affiliation with the party. And as your colleagues comes, we will do the same. And then after that, we would expect one of you to tell us what we need to know about VOLT, Vision for Liberia's Transformation. So welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kroma. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right.
Yes, you are.
All right. My name is Sayzay Samah. I'm a Liberian. I hail from Lofa County. But most of all, I'm a Liberian, and that's how I like to be identified. I grew up in Liberia. I did most of my schooling up to high school in Liberia. I attended the Booker Washington Institute. But I did not graduate until I was not privileged to graduate until the inception of the Civil War. I did complete my high school and then left for Nairobi, Kenya in 1993 to pursue my college education. While in Nairobi, I did earn my bachelor's and also my MBA in strategic management, which is basically has to do with a lot to do with planning. After my education in my college, after my graduation.
Oh, hello. Are you there, Mr. Sayzay?
I think
hello.
Could be a communication error. I don't know. Probably.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Are you there, Mr. Samah?
Yes, I'm still here. Should I just continue? I got people.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, continue. Yeah.
Okay,
Just...
so I went back here in 1999, November to be specific, with the urge to serve my people. That desire was short-lived, and I was there for about a year and a half. And I was joined by my wife in March. We stayed in Liberia for a year and a half, and then we came to the United States to pursue higher education. So right now, basically, I've lived in the United States for about 14 years and worked with different companies in different positions, but I still have an urge. I have a burning desire for my people. I feel that my spirit, my being belongs in Liberia, and I believe this is the time. This is the time that I must get involved in the affairs of Liberia, and I want to stop there for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Folks, that was the verse of Honorable Sayzay. I hope I'm saying it right. Samah. He's one of the officials of the new political party, Vision for Liberia, Transformation of Liberia, VOD for short. So we'll now turn the floor over to Honorable Yonly so he can introduce himself, and then shortly after that, we will pick one of them to tell us about the party. Then we'll begin to take your questions. So, Mr. Yonly, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. This is Abu Yonly from Tampa, Florida. Basically, I'm one of the transformation officers of the vote. Basically, it's new, dispensation for, transforming some of the things that, especially political, social, economic lives of our people back home in Liberia. To start with, introducing myself, I actually attended Cathedral High School where I graduated in '86, and then matriculated at the University of Liberia. Due to the Civil War, we all, left the country and went to Kenya, Nairobi. I did my undergraduate, and then went down to Botswana. Whapoe in Botswana is a country next to South Africa. There where I did some teaching, and then from there I went to England. I was in Manchester. I did a master's in social work, and then from there too, I also got the green card to migrate to the U.S. Came here in the U.S. and did a master's in organizational management. Worked with the state of Florida Agency for Workforce Innovation for some years, and then later on decided to go home and see what I can do. So currently, I went home and then started a business called Brookfield Computers. I took a lot of computers back home, opened a store on King Johnson Road, and I employed some Liberians. Then I had about 2-3 guys starting the store there, and also training some people, helping them to understand the basics, computer skills. One of the things here we need to talk about is basically our new vision is to make a change in people's lives, capacity building, with not only, engaging in politics, but also uplifting the lives of the people. What I mean by that is encouraging people by providing, incentives in terms of loans, small business loans in the private sector. Everybody can work for the government. So, that's one of the agenda we'll be talking about, encouraging, sustainability, improving the lives of the people so that they can be able to be independent, to lift them up from poverty. That's one of the things we need to engage in Liberia that will help our people in the long run, because everybody can be president, everybody can be ministers, everybody can be directors or assistant directors. So those are some of the things we're going to be discussing this evening.
Thank you.
I won't be talking too much, and I think I'll rest my case here.
Thank you. That's good for introduction. And interestingly, luckily, should I say, one of your other members just arrived. I don't know his name, but your last 4 digits, 6929. Could you please tell us your name and what's your name, sir?
Thank you so much. Thank you. My name is Clarence Gono Jr.
This is Clarence. Okay, Clarence. So go ahead with introduction. What do we need to know about Mr. Clarence Gono? Your educational background, as you suggested, by the way, it was your recommendation and your life experience and your affiliation with the party. What do we need to know?
First, my name is Clarence Gono Jr. I was born in San Nicolas, Nima County, Liberia. I attended seminary school in San Nicolas from 1978 to 1989. After I matriculated at the University of Liberia, I attended the College of Science and Technology in 1990 because of I want to put in quote, our own civil war. I had to leave to go to the Ivory Coast. There, I obtained a scholarship from the United Nations. I went to Nairobi, Kenya, where I attended the United States International University, graduated with a bachelor's degree in international relations. I went back to the Ivory Coast. I attended the University of Abidjan for some time learning French. Came to the United States. I attended the University of Pennsylvania, studied public policy relations, U.S. history, and human rights. I did not actually graduate from the University of Pennsylvania, but I matriculated at St. Joseph's University, which is a Jewish university, and I got a master's in training, organizational development, and leadership. And currently, I'm pursuing a doctoral program in education and leadership. I'm a candidate at this time, and I have like 1 year to go. I'm finishing with this doctoral program next year in education and leadership. For me, I'm very interested in vote because I want to see that change in Liberia, where our educational system in Liberia, which of course many of you agree with me is very weak, will be strengthened. There are a lot of theories in education that I have learned in school, and I think those theories should be applied, should be turned into some practical thing that people will be able to learn from. People will be able to apply in our educational system and achieve the best for the country. For instance, curriculum. We need a curriculum change in Liberia, and I think that will be one of the focuses of vote. Should vote take over the leadership in Liberia in the future. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, folks, you've heard some officials of vote vision for Liberia transformation. They have just introduced themselves. For now, we have Honorable Isaac Yonly, and we have Clarence Gono, and we have Sayzay Samah. So, gentlemen, thank you for your introduction. And as I said earlier, so we're one of you now, perhaps the senior ranking official among yourselves, will now take time to briefly tell us about this idea of a new political party at this time, and then just briefly, so then after that we can begin entertaining questions here. I do have some questions lined up already, but oftentimes we need basis for asking questions. So with one of you, you can decide who is in the best position to do so. With one of you now, take the time to tell us briefly about vote the party.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chroma. Have Jeremiah joined yet or not?
Not yet. I haven't heard it.
Okay. All right. I'll take the lead. Once again, this is Sayzay Samah. Basically, vote is a movement. The vote is not associated with an individual, unlike other political parties, wherein if the standard bearer is not available or is no longer dies, for example, the party dies. Vote is a movement, and vote is cognizant of the fact that freedom is not free. It must be demanded, and it must be earned. We have to earn it. After the physical war in Liberia, which we fought for many years with no winners in sight, Liberians decided to turn and become a democratic country. Liberians are now fighting an economic war. we cannot continue to tell our people to wait while we excel, we as the elite, or we as the so-called leaders excel and move on with our lives. Our people are tired. So the vision of Vote basically is to create an enabling environment for all Liberians, regardless of your tribal background, regardless of your age, regardless of your physical condition, regardless of your family name. The vision of Vote is to create an opportunity for all Liberians where we can all excel and realize our God-given potential. Liberians, we need equal access to health, education, and other facilities that the government should provide. And we are not seeing that in Liberia after the Civil War, which we lost a lot of loved ones too. So the time has come for Liberia to seize the opportunity to fight and demand that freedom. We want to be free. I've been going to Liberia in the past 5 years, and I see the faces of my brothers and sisters, our moms, our aunties. Liberians are getting desperate. They are losing hope. We seem to be getting lost. And so the vision of Vote basically is to come in and provide a voice for our people. As much as it sounds like a cliche, that is the true vision of Vote. We want to be a voice for the Liberian people, those that are underserved. And I want to stop there for a moment.
Okay.
See if my colleagues have any additions to make.
Okay. How about Samah? Do you have anything to add? I noticed that Clarence Gono line just dropped. So, Mr. Samah, do you have anything to add to that? Or?
Actually, that was Mr. Samah speaking. So I don't know. Are you referring
to? Oh, okay, Mr. Yonly then. No, sorry, Mr. Yonly. I thought Yonly was taking the lead too. All right. So, Mr. Yonly, do you have anything to add to what Mr. Samah has just said?
Oh, okay. Basically, just that's mainly the vision. We basically have a lot of activities that we're going to discuss this evening. As I said, I'm more concentrating on the business aspect, but you really, outlined the major component of the Vote party. So I think we'll just go ahead and hear from some of the folks instead of we having three persons just speaking. So I think there are some folks that just entered, so we'll give them the privileges to express themselves.
Okay. One of your party officials, came while you were speaking. I didn't want to interfere with that. About Jeremiah. Is that Whapoe? Forgive me if I butcher the name. We'll open this line. Mr. Jeremiah?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm sure you listened through the brief deliberation your fellow party officials were making. And do you have anything to add to that, or should we just begin letting in the audience here? Pretty much they introduce themselves, and I don't know what's your position with regard to the party, and so they all had to introduce themselves briefly. I think at the time you had not come here, but now that you hear what you have to say.
I listened to all your conversation, but I was muted from your end, so you couldn't hear me. I was saying from the beginning, yeah.
Okay, I didn't see your name there. The numbers that were sent to me did not include your number. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you're on the floor now, yeah.
Thank you very much. My name is Jeremiah Whapoe, as all of you have identified me. My educational background, prior to my migration to the United States, I graduated from Samah in 1988 at the age of 18. I started going to the university, and the Civil War came. I could not stay there, and while I was in Liberia, I was really encouraged people came around to motivate me to be part of the Civil War. So the one question I asked them was, who am I going to fight? And because that question was not answered, I did not fight. But I fought the war differently. And how did I do that? I said that people were killing each other. The life that God gives is something, if you can't give somebody something, you don't have the right to take it away. So people were in parade of structuring each other, brothers, sisters from different countries structuring each other. So I said that was wrong. And I became the first human rights activist in Liberia. Even before Justice Appeal Commission should come in, Jeremiah Whapoe was the first human rights activist. And I established a human rights organization, and I began to preach the advocacy of human rights. But for my efforts in Liberia to benefit the entire country, I could not stay there, so I decided to leave the country and travel to the United States to advance myself and return home to serve my people. And since I came to the United States, I was blessed with 3 bachelor degrees, political science, 1 sociology, 2 computer science, 3. And I advanced myself with getting another degree in social work with emphasis in community health and urban development. And my master, my minor was in criminology. And after that, I believe that there was still room for learning, and I migrated for higher learning. And I'm going to be confirmed with a doctorate in leadership in October 2013. I'm going to be confirmed as doctor of leadership. And how did we come up with this idea of vote? Is look at our history. Liberia is all 165 years old. And all of us that are on this line, if I ask us today, besides our age that we usually brag about, we're the oldest independent nation in Africa. If I ask you, let's count our fingers just on one hand and finish the 5 fingers, what has been our achievement as an oldest independent nation in Africa? Believe me or not, you and myself will not finish our 5 fingers. What it means is that people are in leadership, they don't know what they're doing. They have been doing it with try and error. And leadership it's a science, it's scientific. It has to have empirical evidence so you can know that that's leadership. You have to serve the people. It's not something that you go there and try. That's not a place to try. You have to know it before you do it. And because we have been electing people on emotion, on the circumstances that we're in, we elect people and we go there for try and error. And at the end of the day, they don't succeed. So we decide that there are a lot of issues going on in Liberia. For example, I listened to my colleague, he was talking about the educational system. I listened to my other colleague talk about empowering the business sectors. And those are things that are lacking in Liberia. But a few key things I'm going to talk about right now is look at the health system. While we are the oldest independent nation, we have the lowest lifespan in the world right now. Liberians' lifespan is 41. When Liberians reach at the age of 41, they are thinking about death. That is horrible. Poverty is at its best since our generation, from the time you and myself came onto this earth. Liberia been in poverty forever. We met our fathers, our mothers on the farm, scratching farm to produce rice, and that has remained the same. So don't we believe in evolution of technology? Don't we believe in creativity? Don't we believe in civilized society where our people would not be able to have would not be able to do this kind of intensive labor? That's true. The next thing is agriculture. The world population today has served to understand because of agricultural technology. People can emerge from poverty because of agriculture, and that is the sector in Liberia. The government, every government that has come, have refused to invest into it. And this crucial area, because our mission to Liberia is not only to make opportunity affordable and accessible, but we want to make people to be independent, for people to get out of poverty. And how we're going to do this, besides investing into the business sector for private citizens to be able to enjoy the fruit of their labor, we will be able to invest into agriculture. We will invest into agriculture technology. Right now in Liberia, according to statistics, Liberia is spending about $720 million a year on bag of rice. And my question to this audience is, where do you think those $720 million is going every year? It's not going to Lofa County. It's not going to Bon County, because we do not have that technology to feed ourselves. It's not going to Nimba. It's not going to Grangida. It's not going to Sano. It's not going to Bon. Where is it going? It's going to the people that are feeding or that are putting price tag on the food that we are eating. Bangladesh, China, United States. So those are the people that are taking $720 million every year from our country. It is time for us to say no. We want that money, and we want to put that money back into our mothers, our fathers' pocket by giving them the technology that they will use on their farm to have massive production of food so they can be able to feed themselves. And at the end of the day, they will be able to send their children to school, that they will not be able to tell their children, no more, this year wait. We cannot afford to send you to school. And telling each child wait every day in Liberia is telling Liberia to wait. And Liberia has been waiting for the past 165 years. There's no more Liberian ready to wait. We are on the road. We are on the front. We are on the front line. We are ready to go. It is based on these differences in our society that past leadership has ignored, and they continue to ignore, and they are planning to ignore in the future at this point in time in our history. It is no time for us to tell the Liberian people wait. It's no time for us to tell the world wait, because we are part of the world. We need to contribute towards the global peace. How can we do that when we cannot feed ourselves? How can we call ourselves independent nation when our health and security and food depends on other nations? The people that feed you, the hands that feed you, can't buy it. But because we cannot feed ourselves, we are able to stand as cowards. We are not cowards. It is time for us to claim our freedom. And based on this backdrop, vote has come to take to the Liberian people a true leadership of transformation, that the people will be able to enjoy the fruit of their labor, that people will have equitable distribution of justice, equitable distribution of the national wealth, that people, every Liberian, every child will have that opportunity to go to the school they want to go to when they are about to go, and we will make sure in our leadership that education is not an opportunity, it's a right. It's an obligation of every parent to send a child to school, whether they have money or not. We will come in and provide opportunity for that child to learn, so Liberia can be on the way to rule.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Well spoken. Gentlemen, you've all spoken well. And I think I'll take that not just as introduction, but also as a brief into the backdrop of the party. I think everyone that's on the line right now should be able to understand from what you just said, just exactly why we are here. And that was Jeremiah Whapoe, and I believe he's a senior ranking official online right now. You can just look Vote website. He happens to be the transitional officer. So he's the right person to say what he said. So I want to thank all of you. And let's begin. Let's start hearing from the audience. So if you are online, and I know you are, I'm seeing many of you, you've heard from the people. It's your time for them to hear from you. Now, at this time, if you have any comment, question, or concern, please dial *61 on your phone. I see some of you have done that already. But keep the questions coming, *61 on your phone, and then we'll get your line here so we can engage our fellow Liberians here. I'd like to begin the question, and this time I must say I'm going to begin with a very elementary question, a question that I'm sure each of you have answered 1 billion times already, but I can't help but to ask the same question, and that happens to be Mr. Whapoe, Mr. Yonly, Mr. Samah, Mr. Gono. Why another political party for Liberia at this time? I mean, all of you have spoken well. Yes, we need role. Agriculture sector needs to be improved. We need healthcare. We need all of the above. Liberia is lagging behind everything. Liberia is lagging behind everything but political party. We got so many political parties right now. It's the one thing that I will argue that Liberia does not need at this time. So with all of your education and backgrounds, is it possible, or was it not possible for you people to find one of the many existing political parties to forward your energy in that direction, to help with all of the things that you've said, or at least to change the party rather than bringing a new one, Mr. Whapoe?
Okay, thank you very much, and I love to answer that question. And this question I've been answering, and most of the time before I go to any forum, I pull the answer from my brain memory and pull it on my lips because I know at the end of the day this is why I'll answer. And before I go ahead with that answer, Mr. Krumah, look, it is difficult to identify new wine in old bottles. Very difficult. If you put a new wine in old bottle and the people see it on the shelf, they say, "Oh man, that scene Gordon, I don't want to drink Gordon." But you refuse to know that in that bottle, it's just in Gordon bottle, but that's not Gordon in it. Then it makes it difficult for people to buy that liquor. Then let's turn it around. Suppose you put new bottle, you put a new bottle there, you put old liquor inside. Then people go on this. Yeah, people do that. But what happens is we see the new bottle, say, "Oh, that new bottle, I want to go buy that liquor." But when you taste it, then you see this, the old taste that you don't like, you taste it. Do you think you're going to buy that liquor again, or whatever drink you think you buy again? No. So that's one common reason. The reason what is coming in is that we have new idea, new people, new vision, new vigor, and new dimension. We are at the front of taking Liberia to where it has long reach to go. You see, every institution you see, it has its own culture. It has its own philosophy. It has its own belief. And to go and jump into that institution where other people are there for you to change that entire institution, there becomes a cure. It's like in the United States when you buy companies. When companies are merging, you see the difficulty to train people, train new culture, and other. The merging of culture in every institution is very difficult. And looking at our society, people are naturally corrupt in that country. They use this institution to reap money from people. Corruption is at its best. But because we want to do away with all of those things, so we can be the new light in a darkness. Liberia is dark, 165 years of darkness. It is time for us to put light on so people can see. So we can serve as an example in that darkness, so people can see to that light. And the only way we can be different, the only way people will identify us is by our character, by our symbol, and what we do. And the only way we can do that is to appear in the society new versus all getting in the old battle. And people usually say that there are parties in Liberia. There are names of parties in Liberia, but they are not parties because we know what parties mean in the United States. We know what parties mean in the United Kingdom. We know the characteristics. We know how their viability in their society. If we look into Liberia right now, we don't have parties. They don't even have a room to stay in until 30 days to election. Then the resources of us to reap government resources because government gave them a certain amount of money so they can cause them. That's not the direction we're going. We are institution of transformation. We're going to be on the ground. We win, we'll be on the ground. We don't win, we'll be on the ground and show Liberian people the best way to live. And the difference between this organization and other institutions is that we gather around ideas of development, ideas of transformation, where even if one of us is not here, the organization will go on. The dream will go on. For example, right there when the crops of my official, when they came online, I was not there. But they were able to carry on the mission and the vision of the organization to tell you, other than, oh, Jeremiah has not come, so we cannot say anything. And that is the culture of Liberian Party. So Liberian political system is surrounded behind individual. There are typical example. Sometimes when we come up, people ask, why new party? Why we can't be like a Moja and go to Liberia and do something? Well, Moja example in Liberia is not a good example that we can emulate because our institution does not believe in any violence. Our institution does not surround itself around individuals as the people that were in Moja did. For example, people, if you look at political parties that emerged from Moja, other than were surrounded behind individuals. The one that Honorable Bacchus Matthew headed, he was the standard bearer for that party until otherwise others emerged with other parties. No competent Liberian were there to take over after you lose the first election. For example, look at the other party, UPP. Some Moja emerged. UPP emerged from Moja that the Tijuana people became the standard bearer until today. They did not find their role in the Liberian society because the whole party surrounded around him, and if he says this, they go by. That's an example of dictatorship. And that's the kind of leadership we want to take to Liberia. We want to introduce a new system that the people will hear their voices. That when Bassa man get to vote, when you will hear Bassa. That when Crown man gets to vote, you hear Crown. When Gil man gets to vote, you will hear Gil. When Mana man gets, what we are saying that it's an institution of inclusion that belongs to every Liberian, but not certain tribal group. That Liberian have that kind of grandiose ideology to build their party spin around the people for which their party spin around. This is different. The common example you can see, came online, you hear different names. When you hear Yonly from different country, when you hear Samah from different country, you hear Whapoe from different country, and you name it. The diversity are because we embrace the differences. We embrace diversity. We embrace us as Liberians. And the one thing that keeping us together in this group is that love of that great nation, Liberia, the land of liberty, that will always belong to. That's the love of that country that brought us together. It's not because this man is from Nimba, as other people see it. It's not because this man is from Lofa, as other people see it, or country as other people see it. This is an institution that belongs to the Liberian people, so we encourage every Liberian to inside. So to answer that question, in short, we do not want to put new one into old bottles so people cannot identify it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And now I know why you delayed coming online, because you wanted to make a point. You wanted to prove that your other officials can carry on the tax with or without the transitional officer. Good strategy. I like that. Mr. Yonly, Mr. Samah, if you two have anything to add, no, if Mr. Gono, otherwise I'd like to begin taking our questions for the night. These people have our audience has been here for long. Some of them have been patiently waiting. So if you got anything to add, will you do that quickly so we can begin taking questions? Mr. Yonly first.
Okay, I think Mr. Whapoe have correctly outlined most of the visions and also the objectives of the party. Political party, people take it for just politics, but there's a lot to it. I mean, people can engage in different activities, different services to help out people back home. So it's not only politics, but also includes services that will help people. We are all, engaged in different or have different specialties. We all have different specialties. So all of us are together and, coming together in one pond to be able to help out in our various specialties. Some of us are business people, some of us are politicians, some of us are agriculturists, finance. So it's people coming together from different backgrounds to be able to go back home and contribute our quota to the development of our country. So that's why I earmarked from the beginning that people shouldn't think only on the line of politics. But everybody can be president in Liberia. Everybody can be superintendents. Everybody can be vice president. But people can take different roles. And that's the main concept of this organization. So it's not only politics, but it's also an organization that have people with different specialties. I'll give Mr. Samah go ahead.
Mr. Samah, quickly, do you have a word or two to add to that? Mr. Samah? How about Mr. Gono? Are you there? Do you have anything to add to that, or just move on? Clarence, Gono? Apparently Mr. Samah and Gono are not by their phone. They stay on the line. I see that. All right, well, we got Whapoe online, the transitional officer. We got Yonly. Both of them have spoken not that long ago, so we'll begin taking questions from there. Hopefully we'll get Samah and Gono when we come by around the next time. Our first caller for the night, the last 4 digit, no name, the last 4 digits, 7867, 7867. Would you please tell us your name where you're calling from and your question for vote officials. Vote, by the way, is a vision for Liberia transformation. 7867, your name, where you calling from and your question.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Musa M. Keita. I'm calling from Rochester, Minnesota.
Welcome, Mr. Keita.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Moderator, let's correct one thing first.
Yeah.
Because other listeners may not have knowledge on that, but we have to correct that before we move on.
Okay.
There should be a proposed political party, but not a political party yet. Because before you become a political party, a full-fledged one, you must have been certificated by the National Election Commissions. That's the first step.
Well, how do you know that hasn't been done?
That's what I'm saying, and that means you must have a headquarters in Liberia that people can refer to as votes headquarters. If that has been done, they don't have a headquarters. Yeah. I'm coming now. If that has been done, then there's no need to correct that. Then let's move forward.
Okay.
I know it's an emerging one. So, but if they have done that, I can refer to them now as a political party. Other than that, I still call it a proposed political party.
Okay.
Now, to my point, it is very laughable, if not to the extent that Liberians in the diaspora and back home will not want to hear about any political party, no matter what form or formula the person or that institution will bring to Liberia. All that they have said, I beautifully explained in their exposés, but to the frustration of us, the listeners tonight, they have not referred to a single institution in Liberia that they built or have created that have helped our people so that if they get political power, they can use similar examples to help our people. This has been a culture of this country for the past 160 years because we have heard of them. This 160 years has been said for days of old up to days of present. No matter what happens, there is no way Liberia can change overnight. My question is, those quote-unquote political leaders now from vote, were they elected by their people or friends, elected friends, to become first political leader of this particular institution? Now, the second thing is, I'm a bit disappointed when 5% keep online. When they get power, that's the kind of disappointment we're going to get. 2% automatically let the phone open, where we are online, have left our different jobs to listen to people that want to be our political leader. But now 2% has skipped already online. Why they will come out, who knows? Who knows God? And the third one is this. Are they prepared to be in Liberia and to live with the people, to understand the people's plight, not by reading the newspaper to say we will go and perform transformation from the diaspora? Thank you very much. I want to stop there for.
Thank you, Mr. Keita. I'll keep you in the queue just in case our speakers need clarification on many things you've said. Mr. Whapoe?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Keita. I hear a lot of frustration in your voice. But before you become disappointed, I think before you express your disappointment, you need to ask, what is the status of vote? What are they doing in Liberia? And when those questions are not answered, then you become disappointed. The expose that we gave earlier, it was contingent upon the question in which the moderator asked. That's how we answer the question. To know the status of vote, you're right to call vote a proposed political party. Right now we are certified by we got our article of incorporation, and as a business institution, as a political institution, as a social institution, when you have article of incorporation and pass through the legal system, which is probity, and register with Liberia Business Registry, you are a viable institution to operate in the country. The aspect of, and those are the stages that we are passing. The aspect of certification with Election Commission, what it does is it certifies you to canvass. We have not have that certification, and we are in the process of getting it right now. So right now, vote is in Liberia. We are working. We are getting to seek the society for people to know us. Then your next concern was whether what we're doing in Liberia to know that we are institutions that operating in Liberia. Whether we've been in Liberia, yes, we've been in Liberia. As the transformational officer, I just visited Liberia. I was there for 6 weeks, and during my stay in 6 weeks, I saw the plight of the Liberian people, especially when it comes to education. I went to the University of Liberia. I stood on the same spot. I paid 15 students school fee, no matter which country they're from. It was not my problem, but I saw that they had desperation to go to school. I didn't pledge it, I paid for it, and they were from different cultural background, ethnic background in Liberia, and they were able to benefit from vote in that direction. Besides that education piece, right now we are undertaking a farming project in Whapoe County. Whapoe County, we are undertaking a farming project there, and we are equipping those farmers to be able to do farming and take the product to the market so they can be able to feed themselves. That is a typical example that when we come to leadership, those are things that we'll be concerned about. Besides Whapoe County, we are undertaking youth projects across Moserado County. Across Moserado County, Moserado, the Margibi, we are taking youth projects. Right now, we are sponsoring about 23 youth teams in Monrovia. We make sure that after school, instead of them getting in the street or getting in trouble, they go and participate in sporting activities and keep their day busy. At the end of the day, they go home, and we have been doing that for the past 1.5 years, so it's going on right now. And we put X amount of dollars into that project to keep the youth together. So if you read the newspaper that ever came out in Liberia when it comes to in the month of November, December, January, March, up to April, those are newspapers that carry our activities all in Liberia when we're there. Even appear on television with our project, and people interview all we're doing it. The reason that we don't want to just be in the news all of the time is that we want for people to feel to see the real change that we are bringing. Where are our interests focusing? We want for them to see it, and those are things that we are doing right now. And you also make emphasis that whether we're going to live in Liberia, Liberia is our home. I believe that it's better to go to the place that you are celebrated than to stay to the place that you are tolerated. In the United States, we are tolerated. We are not celebrated here. I can remember if you that they leave from here to go to Liberia, when you get to that airport, you'll see the amount of people that will come to welcome you to that airport. But believe me, when you leave from there, you get to that Minnesota airport, how many people come there to come welcome you besides your wife coming to pick you up? We are just tolerated here. We need to go home. And this is a challenge we are bringing to you people. And even if both have urged anywhere right now that you find difference with, we need you. We need you, and you truly believe that Liberia has problems. Liberia has health problems. Liberia has poverty problems. Liberia has agriculture problems. Liberia has problem with empowering people, and you have that idea. It is time for you to come and put that idea into use with vote, because vote is an institution that embraces every good idea that benefits the Liberian people. That's what we are here for, and that's what we want to do. So you are welcome to vote. Come, join on, bring the idea that you have. We are not just based in United States. As you myself speak, we are tapping about 9,000 memberships in the Republic of Liberia. Register members.
Right now.
As of right now, we are tapping 9,000 memberships. They go on our website, they register, they go straight to our database. And as you myself speak, to enhance education in Liberia, we just open schools. If you go to Fender, you will see some schools right by. Fender, you see some school right by Fender High School there. We are even building. We build our elementary school. We completed it, and we are building right now a high school over there. And one of our members is taking care of that. If you want to know that, we can give you the information. You call and you talk to people over there. We are undertaking projects in Liberia. We are not just sitting now. We want for people to see the change and feel it, and see the example of what we are going to take over there. And those are things that we are proudly doing in Liberia, and we are looking forward to including you as Liberia, and bring your good idea. Don't sit aside. Bring your good idea. Do not just criticize. Bring those ideas, constructive criticism. Let's work together and go transform our country. You know the problem. I know the problem. Knowing it is not enough. We need to take action. It is the action we are beginning right now, and we are waiting for you to join on. Also, we can carry on.
Okay. Thank you. For gentlemen, rather than me picking on all of you guys every single time, I would suggest that if at any time Honorable Jeremiah Whapoe, the transitional officer, the highest ranking official of the party online tonight, anytime he's done speaking, all of you, your lines are open. If you have anything to add or subtract, feel free to jump in the conversation. And
let me just make one quick clarification on my brother's inquiry about vote member coming online and they just disappear. And you should also know that we are living in a world of technology. They might be having technical problems with their phone. They didn't just abandon you. So instead of you thinking a negative way, about if you look on the other side of the coin that something is happening, maybe that's why they are not. Gentlemen were able to take their time to come here to explain what's going on. I don't think it's that easy for them to just drop the phone to go. So we are living in a world of technology, and technology always encounters problems.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. This is Gono. I just
Gono.
Actually, my line. You called my attention, and I decided to speak. You were not hearing me, and then you said, "Oh, Gono is that online?" But I was actually listening to you when you were saying I was not online, and the fellow came up to say that would just come and drop me and then go. That's not true. First, I just want to make this clear. We are very serious. We are very serious. As the transformational officer was speaking, that people in Liberia, political parties in Liberia are built around individuals. For instance, they have that mentality of, I will take my ball and go home. That is, he's a lead player who brought the ball into the field. If he's not given a chance to play, he will want to take his ball and go home. You see, maybe that, for instance, CEC. Take away Whapoe from CEC and see whether CEC will be able to survive the right way it's supposed to. Take away Bronsky from Liberty Party and see whether Liberty Party will be able to survive the best way possible. That's that mentality of take my ball and go home. And we don't want that in Liberia anymore. We want a political party that is structured on the people, that the people themselves will see that they are involved. They are involved in their own development, in their own community development. That's what we're talking about when we say we want to carry a change, a transformation in Liberia. That's what we're talking about here. And look at the history. And you talk about how do you come and bring just new political party? You have not even done anything. The history of transformation go down into the 1700s. When the 12 guys started in London, they started in London, they went into a shop, and they decided that, okay, we want to get rid of slavery. Those 12 people that went there and said they wanted to get rid of slavery, they told all the guys, people around, people will say, oh, you guys are joking. Slavery already in Dominican, probably in the island area, people in the state. How will you get rid of it? Those guys are joking. People thought they were just joking. They were jokers. But they persisted. They persisted until now in 1772, Lord Mency, when he declared that slavery was illegal in England. So what about that? So it didn't mean that those people were people who were actually doing something on the ground before they could even come with the idea of getting rid of slavery. That's the same thing here, transformation. So I want you guys to buy into the idea that you don't really have to say you have something on the ground before you can start a movement to change the system. You can propose the idea, impossible in the idea, and implement the idea. So I will stop there, and maybe other people can.
Okay. We got so many people online, and not that all of them have asked to ask questions, but I think it would be great if we keep our responses brief so we can accommodate as many
can I just
as possible. Yeah, quickly. Yeah.
This is Yonly from Florida. Our brother just make some inquiries, as to whether the organization really have a root on the ground. Individually, too, we also making some strides. I, for one, I went home and established a business, and right now I have a 3-person employee. I have a store on Camp Johnson Road next to Yonly University, and also had a computer school, which, of course, just a basic computer to help people to learn how to use the computer, and also, create. I've not created a lot of jobs, but at least I created some. And also, when I went, I, did some construction work. Did, build some few, homes on the ground. And through the homes, some people got jobs. Some people were able to build. So we making some progress, I mean, not be on a larger scale, but we're doing a lot individually.
Mr. Yonly, though, I was going to say, I was going to ask the transformational officer, Honorable Jeremiah. I was going to ask him, when he said he paid certain number of students school fee at the University of Liberia on the spot, and then here you are talking about the business you have. Are those now private businesses? I think people want to know what have you done as the party official, not what you do in your personal life, in your private life. So I wanted to ask, for instance, the school you have is now owned by vote. The store you have is not owned by vote. It's your personal business intended to generate profit. So how do we credit the party for that?
Okay, what you're doing basically is you creating jobs. It's all about creating jobs. You create jobs by establishing school. People teach, they get paid. When you get a store, people are employed, they get paid, they get one person when it's employed, the person have 4 or 5 families to feed.
But that's you doing that, not the party doing that. That's you doing that as individual. That's not the party doing it.
Okay, let me. Can I get an interlude? Can I get an interlude, please?
Okay, all right. I'm eager to accommodate these callers. I mean, let's quickly so we can move on. Let me take some callers.
No,
quickly,
instead of you saying we didn't answer your question, I want to give you this quick idea. The way political party works is like this: if we go right now and start doing this, they say, oh, the party is doing this, they're going to ban, or they say, oh, they're running campaign. We can't do that. We don't want to be banned on the campaigns. Oh, a political party cannot just go ahead and start doing things around. And the idea would be that, oh, those folks are running campaigns, they're going to ban us. So what we do is we have our non-profit organization on the ground that undertakes a lot of activities in the community. When the scholarship was being offered at the University of Liberia, it was not my personal endeavor. It was the institution's endeavor. And the farming we talked about in Whapoe, we did it. It was not my personal endeavor. It was the institution endeavor while we're in route of being legal in Liberia. But at the stage we're in right now, anything we do until is done in our non-for-profit name, we cannot say, oh, the party is doing. The party is not responsible to do that. They will ban or they say we are running campaign.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I clarified. Thank you. We'll take the next caller for the night. 6105. Your name, where you calling from, your question for my guest tonight, officials of vote. 6105. Your name, where you calling from, your question.
Let me begin by giving you thanks first of all for your programs and also for allowing me to make comment or ask the question. My name is Anthony Sayzay. I'm calling from the state of Minnesota. I will make a brief comment, maybe will be followed by questions. I was not on the line when maybe the 3 guys spoke, but the last guy that spoke, I don't know his name, but I listened to him. So my question actually is going to be based on what he said. I know somebody said they are not Moja, they don't believe in violence. I know that Moja is not about violence. I know that they were trying to actually exercise what they said that was good for the country. Now, Liberia right now is worried about leadership, and they are waiting to hear who really will come out. I've been going to a lot of Liberian gatherings. They are thinking when Ellen is gone, what next? The leadership of Ellen, not all of us embrace it, but people are worried right now. So they are really hungry to see a new movement coming in. And that's one of the main reasons why I decided to join this conference call, to really see you guys' side, to see what you have to offer. I'm not a man that believes in handout. In other words, I'm not a type that will say, look, we build school. It is not a responsibility of an individual to do that. The World Economics, that they study on 200 countries, including Liberia, were refusing to bail Liberia out. In other words, when Liberia filed for debt relief, they said no. They said Liberia have enough to pay their debt. When they were building countries like Nigeria and Ghana up that never had recent war. But they said Liberia were capable. What I mean here is this. We do not need to use our own money, okay? All we got to do is to push the government. For example, I was in Liberia in June. The reason why I went was the Liberian government borrowed $29.4 million. I want you to Google it if you have access to internet right now for agricultural purposes to be used for cocoa and coffee rehabilitation. Just go to Google, you put cocoa and coffee rehabilitation in Lofa County and some part of the Liberia. $29.4 million. That's not small money for cocoa and coffee rehabilitation. Now, I follow up with that money to make sure the money gets in the hands of the right people. That's how you bring about change. But when I went, Dr. Zina, who is at the Agriculture Ministry, once they see that you want to be a revolutionist, they try to close you down. So the last time I called, they said, well, the money was not released. The third time, I called one of my a brother who had a larger cocoa and coffee farm in Lofa County. He said that they only send 3 people to come brush cocoa and coffee farm. $29.4 million. Now, the money landed in the hands of people that have not even seen cocoa or coffee in Liberia. Trying to share it. Okay? So, yeah, I'm just trying to make this comment because I really want to see new people coming up to see if they can have a real vision that someone all can be part of.
Okay.
So, now, I will come there, but let me just quote. The last time I on Liberia Destiny Debate, and coming up with who is this Minister of Presidential Affairs, who talked to Ellen on daily basis, he referred to Liberia as poor economies. He referred to Liberia as poor country. And I have to correct him. And he stood up, and I even got email from one of my friends. He said he did the right thing. We don't seem to understand the country. But this is the question. This is the question. I know that there got a lot of people online, so let me just briefly go through the question. My question is this. What is actual mission? Those are now online when you said it, but what I heard was trying to help whatever. What is your actual mission that makes you different from the other political party? Because all what you have said, we have heard that before. What really you think that will differ you from other political parties? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zizi.
Okay. Let me. This is Whapoe. Let me come in. Then my crops of officer will come in. All right. Okay. Number one, what distinct vote from other political institutions is that we have plan. We have plan to fight corruption. I'm going to give you one of our plans that we have before. We don't want to put it out right now because we don't want for people to steal our ideas and use it. We have plan. One of our plans we have is this. Upon taking leadership in Liberia, from day one, the very day we take office, we will sign treaty with Guinea, extradition treaty. If it is there, we'll reinforce it. We'll sign extradition treaty with Guinea. We'll sign extradition treaty with Ivory Coast. We'll sign extradition treaty with every country that believes in transparency, so that anybody of such nature that will embezzle money from Liberia when they are going through the legal process so they cannot escape the country. In case they escape the country, they will be extradited to Liberia to pay the full weight of the law. The difference between us and other political institutions in Liberia is that when people steal money in Liberia, they fire them, they say you fire. My brother, you that there, you and myself work in the United States here through all our life. We will not accumulate $1 million. $500,000 maybe because some are making good salary, maybe. But to accumulate $1 million in 2 months, it will not happen. But people embezzle that kind of money from government, then they say, well, you fire. Are you really firing that person? What you did right there is you enable the bank, you empower him to do more. So we're not going to do that. We're going to start treating that nobody will escape that country when you steal government, when you steal the civil society money. You bear the full weight of the law in the court, and you will go to jail. What the law says, you're going to go by it, you're going to buy it, you go to jail. Now, one way we intend to fight corruption, that has not happened in Liberia. As you myself speak, no one person is then litigated in Liberia for corruption or is there in jail for corruption. But we hear every day money get missing. Even for the former president of Liberia, Judy Bryant, he was accused for embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what happened? He went to jail. They were talking there in the very moment he came out. And we're not going to endure into that. If people can talk on telephone in Liberia, in the United States, and talk about corruption and go to jail for it, it should be able to happen in Liberia. That's one way we're going to fight corruption. And another thing that's distinct from other institutions in Liberia is that this institution is not built around individual. It's built around mission and vision. And it is the mission and vision that Liberian people are gathering around it. The difference between us and other institutions in Liberia is that we do not believe in dual currency that is dividing, is creating a social gap between people. From day one, when we take over, Liberia will use its own currency, and the reason for Liberia is going to do this is that Liberians will be empowered. Right now in Liberia, $50,000 Liberian dollars cannot buy a house. How many people in Liberia that can afford $100,000 or even $20,000 to buy a house? The reason the people are doing this is that they are taking the richest
they are forcing Liberians to remain poor and those that are in the elite class to get rich forever. That is not serving. Leadership is about serving. That's the difference between we and other institutions. The people in Liberia, other political parties, they do not believe in service. They believe in dictating to the people to tell them how they should live. They're telling them to leave the city, to go in the interior because they do not belong in the city. The difference between us and them is that we believe in service. They do not believe in service. The difference between us and them is that we have ideas that we surround ourselves behind. Even when Jeremiah Whapoe is not here today, the idea will live on. When Clarence Gono is not here today, the idea will live on. When Sayzay Samah is not here today, the idea goes on. When Yonly is not here today, the idea goes on. That's the difference between us. And the difference between us is that we are trying to show real nationalism, patriotism, and serve our people. So we can make sure that everybody, the opportunity in Liberia is affordable, accessible, and attainable. That's what has not happened in Liberia, and that's what we're going to offer. The difference is that Liberian people, Liberian past leadership has not worked to understand that people will get out of poverty. People can get out of poverty from poverty because they invest into the local products, agriculture. Liberian people have not invested in agriculture, and that's where we're going to invest most of our stuff. We are going to make sure that by the time we take over, in the first 4 years, Liberia will be connected with road network. 50% will be not connected with road network. Will be road network. We're not talking about the way Better Yara Road looks right now that pickup cannot go there, or the Morovia Street looks right now that they say the building road, but taxi cannot go there. It will be dragging on the street. That's not what we're going to do. We'll make sure that these things will happen. And how we're going to do it? The corrupt money that people are stealing right now, like right now in Liberia, one director got 1,000 gallons of gas. What is he doing with that gas? We'll take all that money and put it into different institutions that Liberian people will benefit from, so people can be able to be enlightened. If you don't enlighten the people mind, you cannot enlighten the country. If you don't develop the people mind, you cannot develop the country. The difference between us and that and previous government is that we are going to invest in the youth because you owns the future. Liberians forget to know that the youth are the one that will take that country forward. They do not invest in you. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to invest in the youth so you can see the difference. That one makes all different from other institutions. And the difference is play.
And I want to add on to that. This is Gono. I want to add on to that. Mine is very brief. Looking at Liberia, let's go into political economy. If you look at Liberia's political economy, you'll say we have a very disjointed middle class. Now, we want to get rid of that. We want to create a system, a governmental system in which there will be a middle class, because that middle class in the future will be able to create jobs that will employ most people to be able to work and feed our families. So as we look at the political economy of Liberia, which is very disjointed, we have to do something about it. That is the difference between they and us. That is the difference between they and us. Those political parties that they say they exist in Liberia, that's the real difference. That we have to study that and create that middle class, that the middle class will be able to create jobs, and that jobs will be able to help Liberians to uplift themselves, to be able to send their children to schools. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's take another caller here. I'm afraid we'll probably not get much questions through, but we'll do what we can do. 5500-5500. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for our guest, studio guest. 5500.
My name is Asmana Randolph from New York, and the question is just simple. Which party did you support in the last two elections? The member of your officials, which party did they? I just want to get a feel of it, and then maybe the next question will come later on. So, can you tell us?
Thank you, Mr. Jawata. Gentlemen, which side were any of you on during this Gono election in Liberia?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. You on? Go ahead.
Yeah. This is Sayzay Samah. I've been on the listening to the conversation, but I had some technical difficulties in that I did not know how to unmute myself. So, but anyway, I'd like to answer that question. And my answer is going to be very brief. During the last political election in Liberia, actually the one previous to that, the first one that Ellen won, I did not participate, but morally, when it came down to George Weah and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, morally I was supporting Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Okay.
And the premise for my support was I felt at the time that George Weah did not have the required leadership ability, even though, in my view, I believe he's a patriot. He loves his country from his heart. But I did not feel that he had the requisite leadership ability to lead our country at the time. So to answer your question, I was morally supporting Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, even though I was not in Liberia physically.
That was the first election. How about this most recent one?
This recent one, again, I was not in Liberia, but when it came down to the elections, I will tell you.
Hello?
Yeah, this is. Can I come in? This is Gono.
Okay, I think no. So Samah wasn't done yet, but I think he's having technical difficulty. Yeah.
Yeah, technical.
Are you there, Mr. Samah? Are you there? Okay, I think he's having his technical difficulty continues. So Gono, Mr. Gono, go ahead. So the question is, who did you support this gun doing this gun election?
First, I can tell you that I do not at the time I do not belong to any political party until now. That the past election, I supported Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I supported her for one reason, that she was the best person to lead Liberia at the time. You know, because you're looking at the lesser evil in political science, in political terminology. You see the lesser evil. So I was thinking that she could be the best person among all the candidates that were running in Liberia to lead our country. So I supported her as an individual. And people were saying, why don't you join UP? I said, no, I do not want to join any political party. I just want to support her as an individual. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Yonly, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So who did you support? Who earned your support during last election?
Physically, I didn't support anybody because, Liberia just started. We just graduated from a civil war, and some of us were still in the diaspora. What I was just hoping to, for the best person to win. If I was participating at the time, then at least I would have supported someone. But I can't say on record that I supported this political party because I was not there to vote.
Okay.
All right. Okay. This is Jeremiah. Let me respond to that question. I don't know why it's important to the gentleman who posted the question to know which political party somebody support in the past or not. If anybody supported a political party right now and they are here, the white man's changes, only the food does not change. Okay. The hint to the wise is quite sufficient. So the people who supported any political party, if they came here today, that means they are wise. And we expect every Liberian who has love for that country to do so. With me personally, I did not support anybody because I believe that the people that were in the race, they were not giving the right message. They never had message. They never had plan. Even Ellen success, we do not want to castigate any character. I'm a president. I do not judge people by their character. I judge them by the consequences of their character. The consequence of Ellen's character that made me not to support her with all the intelligence and the brilliance she might have is that, number one, you don't want to kill the people before you lead them. There's a better way to resolve problems in a country than violence. Because she stood and said, burn the mansion, I'm going to rebuild it. Kill it, we're going to rebuild Liberia. And agree in her own word that from the initial stage, she supported others to go to Liberia once she agreed to kill Liberian before her idea. This child is going to be great to succeed. I could not support that kind of person because I'm a person, I do not believe that my leadership should be at the expense of Liberian people's blood. It's not because of their blood that somebody should ascend to leadership. It should be because of service. Leadership is about authority, it's not about power. And there's a fine difference between power and authority. With authority, people follow you enthusiastically with their will to do what you want them to do. With power, people follow you because you coerce them to do what they want to do. So to do what you want them to do. That's the difference between leadership and authority. A manager, management and authority. That's the difference between the kind of leadership they have in Liberia and what we intend to distinguish. We at both, we have authority because we inspire the people with the words that we have. We inspire the people with our character, and we believe that Liberians' blood not supposed to be wasted before somebody is sent to leadership. Because of the people that are sent to leadership with Liberian blood, from that background, I was not able to support them. That's one. Number two, I was not able to support any of the candidates because the people did not have the technical know-how, the mental physique of leadership so they can take that on. Because if you will have somebody who will represent Liberia to go and stand in the street and start murmuring on words that they will put out, now you see the thing that popping from my eating at Benesi, that's not the kind of leadership we want. We want people, we want people who will have the mental physique, who will have the technical physique to deliberate Liberia's plight in the international community so we can be part of that community of nations. We don't want people that will carry communism because some people that went that took part in our election, I personally sat with them, and the idea they were carrying to Liberia is communism. I could not support those kind of idea. I learned that you can take good idea to Liberian people so they can follow us, so we can lead them. So based on this background, I was not able to support any of them because I believe that they never had the correct tools and the correct message, and it's been exemplified in Liberia right now. The child want to be great. The child was great. The child took over, and what happened to the Liberian people? So that's why I didn't support anybody.
Okay, we'll have to leave it at politician. If you're just joining us, and I can see a considerable number of you have, I'd like to welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum weekly talk show. Tonight, we have the privilege of hosting ranking officials of a new political party called Vision for Liberia's transformation of Liberia. They are discussing their party's ideas and then trying to set the party apart from all the other parties. Now, if you have any question, comment, or concern, please dial *61 on your phone so that we can open up your line and you may ask your question. After the show, we will have a repeat broadcast can be accessed by dialing 559-726-1299 with the same access code 908209 and pound. And then within the next couple of days, the show will be uploaded on YouTube, just like many of our previous shows. With that said, we'll take the next caller. We'll take Alfonso. Alfonso So. Would you please tell us where you're calling from and your question for my guest, Alfonso So?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Crowman. I'm Alfonso So from the state of Rhode Island, also the director for the Voice of Judah. As a matter of fact, this Diaspora Forum and Voice of Judah is currently really live here now. Okay, well, gentlemen, my question here, Mr. Whapoe, Gono, I will say thank you. You have appeared both on my show. Now, here you are, from what I'm sensing out here, it seems to be this new political group will fight against corruption. But what I've been heard here, though, since you appear both on my show and listening from what I'm gathering, you have never said anything like, if given the chance to contest the presidential election in Liberia, whatever time that will come, that you will come out boldly to declare your answer, because this is something that we have not seen in the political history of our country. I don't know how much our political leaders have, but I want to get that they reach themselves at the hands of a Liberian taxpayer. For the record's sake, and to set of the change that you envisage right now as you talk, will you and any of your officers that will be on board, will you publicly declare your asset to the Liberian people and precise what you have and get into this before you for any public office?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. So. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Whapoe. Go ahead. So.
Well, I want to come in last, but I want to give this time to my crop of officers so they can come in. I will come in last.
Okay. We'll start with Mr. Gono. We'll start with you. Hold on 1 second here. I did say from the onset of the show that we were also on live via Voice of Judah. I did say that from the beginning of the show. Maybe some of you were not here, but yeah, we are, as we as we are, talking here, Voice of Judah was gracious enough to put us on live, some sort of partnership we're trying to work with. I do want to commend them for that, and so I just wanted to acknowledge that. So go ahead, Mr. Gono.
Okay, this particular question is a very interesting question. It's very critical. Let us look at it this way. What does the election law for someone to be, appointed into government leadership? What does it say? What is the policy of the government? What is the policy of the government on that particular issue? So if in the future, if the policy of the government is that before you come to before you be, or when you are appointed as a government person, a government into leadership in government, you have to, declare your assets. Why not? I would do that. Why not? Why not? As a matter of fact, I own properties in St. Nicholas. Okay, I inherited property from my father, so in St. Nicholas. So I'll go with whatever the policy of the government is at the time.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I would like to, hello?
Yeah, hello, Mr. Is this Mr. Yonly?
Yeah, no, Mr. Samah. Mr.
Samah, okay.
Yeah, I would like to step in. In addition to what my brother just said, Clarence Gono, we will be going according to what the Constitution says in Liberia as regard to that declaration of assets. If we are saying we want to be the voice of the people, we must be able to obey the Constitution of Liberia and what it says regarding that. But even if it is not in the Constitution, but at a time when we are about to have political elections in Liberia, if it is the wishes of the Liberian people because of certain fear that they have, then it is incumbent upon us as leaders to listen to the voices of our people. So with that said, I would say if that is the wish of Liberia, that whoever want to ascend into power as leader to declare their asset, why not? We should be willing to do that because we are there to serve the people. So we will do that if that's what they want us to do. We have nothing to hide. I personally have, for the last 5 years, I've been going to Liberia and I'm undertaking a project. It's right on Ralphie Highway, Douazon. I'm building my dream home over there. I've never worked for government. I've worked in the private sector in the United States. And, whatever I had, because of the love for my country and knowing that my heart does not belong to America, my heart and soul belongs to Liberia, I've been going there for the past 5 years. And I'm building my dream home right there. And I will be glad to declare that because I don't want tomorrow to hold a position and the people come back and start pointing fingers at me and say, hey, look at this guy, what he's acquired in a relatively short time. So to answer your question, yes, it is the wish of the Liberian people that whoever ascends to power declare their assets, we will be doing that. But we will want to obey the Constitution and whatever is written in there as far as it relates to declaration of assets. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll take the next caller and then Mr. Jeremy. Yonly, all right, Mr. Yonly. Okay, quickly.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Thank you, Mr. So. I think it's very critical at this junction that, people who want to assume political life in Liberia should be, be able to be looked at in a transparent way. So some of the ways of looking at it is, making sure that those people are coming clean. So if, as my previous friends and members, colleagues just stated, if it is something that is stipulated and the wishes of the people, then there be it, and people, we have to conform to it, and I'm very happy for that because I believe in transparency. So I think it's a good idea. So if the law requires it and the election commission put that power, then we'll be able to do that. So it's very, very imperative. It's important.
Thank you very much.
What if it was morally the right thing to do, yet not required by the Constitution? Would that change? Would that change anything morally? The right thing to do. People ought to know what you have before coming to public office, so that at the end of your tenure, we can make comparison between what you had when you came in versus what you have as you leave. Even if that wasn't required, if it's the right thing to do, why wouldn't you do that?
Very good. You rightly said it.
Can I comment on that question?
No, well, I just want to hear from Mr. Jeremy Whapoe. He's the one who has just spoken. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You see, that's why it's good to get people who are informed in the team. This team, I'm proud of them, and the fundamental part of being in a country is to respect the law, because it is the law. When the law says so, we'll do it. Morally, people, moral. You see, when we talk about morality, it's relative. It's relative. That's relative. But when it comes to doing the right thing, we is committed to doing the right thing. We will respect the Constitution. When, as my crops or officials say, if it's required, we're going to do so. But for the benefit of the Liberian people, so they can know that this team is different from other teams, they will be welcome to know what we have. But that is not the key issue. The key issue is, instead of going to assess people what they have, why can't you create a system that will avoid the corruption? Our mission is to create a system that people will not have that kind of luxury to corrupt no more. Because if we wait for people to acquire from their corrupt behavior and take it home before we start assessing it, it will be difficult for us to accomplish what we want to accomplish. So our mission of fighting corruption is we'll create a system that corruption will be very, very difficult to practice. And that's what we're going to do. Instead of waiting to go after people, we'll create a system that they will not be able to get public fund easily so they can see it. And if they did, we're going to prosecute it.
Okay. Hello, are you there? Mr. Whapoe?
Yeah, this is Mr. Whapoe.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. I just want to make sure we didn't lose. Okay, let's take another caller here. I'm trying to get as many callers as possible, but unfortunately, time is now on our side. 6943. Would you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question from our studio guest? 6943.
Yeah, my name is Polybody Kroma. I'm calling for Chester, Pennsylvania.
Welcome, Mr. Kroma.
Thank you, sir. I've been listening to the studio guest, and my concern is just a comment that was made by one of the speakers. I may not be able to know exactly who the person was, but I did hear some of them say that if they take over power in Liberia through the ballot box, one of their projects would be to make sure to at least pave half of Liberia with good roads. And then I just want to get a rough idea as to maybe they have a plan. And to pave half of Liberia, how many miles of paved road are we talking about? And how many millions of dollars are we talking about? And how do they going to get that money? How do they acquire that money? And how long will they be able to deliver that kind of a massive dream to bring that into reality, third world country like Liberia? That's my question.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Whapoe.
Yeah, it was Jeremiah Whapoe that made that statement. And one thing I will tell you is this. When you hope, you put your hope into action, you succeed. What been keeping us behind in Liberia is status quo. We make our dream limited. Oh, this thing is too big, we can't do it. I didn't say we'll connect 50%. I said within the first 4 years, Liberia will have 50% of its road network completed with modern technology. Transportation is key. And how we're going to do it? Liberia right now is misdirecting funds. It's misdirecting funds. For example, if we can take the money that have been misdirected, for example, one director in a ministry is taking 1 gallon of gas a month just to drive in Monrovia that is not correct. 20 miles from Monrovia to Pinzay is not 20 miles. From Pinzay to Ghana is not 20 miles. If one person can have that, and we take all the money and direct it into the proper place, we're able to do development in Liberia. And that's not the only thing we do. There's money in Liberia. Right now, Liberia has a host of natural resources besides diamond, besides gold, besides timber. We got iron ore. We got seafood. Liberia is one of the richest countries in the world with waters. We have the water in Liberia. It's the second in the world that flies all the ships that travel around. the ocean flight, Liberia fly most flight. The maritime fund is going over there. Besides that, Liberia has crude oil. The crude oil, we have 10% of crude oil. It's been discovered in Liberia, and those funds are being directed into people's pockets. Instead of it going to people's pockets, we'll take it to do something visible in Liberia so people can see it. So the money is right there. Like one of our brothers said earlier, when Liberia wanted to ask to be built out at the World Bank, they said, no, Liberia has money to develop itself. And that is the money we're going to take to do all of these things.
Okay. Just for the record, though, let's say that as far as the crude oil discovery, we are told that there are a lot of testing and assessment going on. It has not been confirmed yet as to whether what was found in Liberia is of any marketable quantity. So there's still testing and counter testing going on in that direction, just for the record. So, Mr. Yonly, Mr. Samah, Mr. Gono, anybody cares to add to that, or just keep going?
Well, I'd like to add a little bit of what our transformation officer just said. Like he rightly put it, Liberia has a lot of goodwill from the international community. You and myself are aware there is a lot of money flowing in Liberia from the outside world. And besides that also, like Jeremiah said, I mean, the natural resources are there. And the money is there. Like I said personally, I have been going to Liberia for the past 5 years every year. The money is not the problem. Our problem is our people are not honest. Our people does not have moral integrity. Our people have just refused to just have that conscience. That is our problem. Our problem is not resources. Our problem is not money. If we can have like a handful of people that just have that country at heart, and when I say at heart, I mean sincerely. This is not just rhetoric. No. A handful of people that just have that country at heart with a moral voice, I'm telling you, Mr. Krumah, Liberia can do wonders. And you and myself can attest to that. But we have just refused to do the right thing. And it's about time. It is about time. Vote. We want to be a voice, a moral voice for the people. I have a lot of respect for a few people that were in alien government, and I'm not going to call their name. You can be part of a system. You can be part of a government. And yet, if you see the ills of that government, if you see the evil, or if you see the shortcomings of that government, you should be able to talk about it and enlighten the people to be able to turn away and move into the right direction. And I have respect for certain people that were in that government. But we don't have a whole lot of that people, of such persons. And that is what we are talking about. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is Gono. I think we're talking about transformation, and the transformation that we are talking about is about leadership. The problem that we have in Liberia is people call themselves leaders. But if you define leadership, you think about management and then leadership itself. So that is, people have charisma, and then they think they are leaders. That is not it. That is not it at all. Because you can pull people into the streets and let them demonstrate you feel you are a leader. But you don't have that skill, that management skill to be able to manage the economy. So we have been lacking that in Liberia for a very long time. But with VOTE, we have people who have learned leadership. So they have that management skills. So they will be able to implement or be able to manage the economy. All the money that you have in Liberia, they'll be able to manage it the right way. So that's the difference. That's the difference between you and us.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I got a whole lot of follow-up callers, and then I got some new calls. Usually, or sometimes it's a good thing to, give follow-up callers so they can connect their ideas. And especially so the fellow who asked earlier about which party any of you supported during last election. Mr. Whapoe asked what was the point to that question, and I wonder myself. So now that he's made entry to make a follow-up question, I think we need to take our follow-up callers. But I will ask that you folks please keep your questions brief. Follow-up caller, please keep your follow-up questions brief so that we can accommodate a few more people before the end of time here. It's almost 10 o'clock. We've been here going on 2 hours now. So let me start with Mr. Runoff from New York, the one who asked about the parties he supported during the last election. Let's see what he has to say. What was the point to that whole last election thing? Mr. Jabate, welcome back to the show.
Well, this is Jabate Randolph from New York again. My whole idea of asking that question was to find out whether you supported democracy and participated in the initial process and the process that you're going to be a part of. That was my whole question of studying your action in the past, and that it doesn't matter who you supported, you may have changed and all of that. But that's what was matter to me. But I'm calling now for different questions altogether.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What is the question then?
Earlier, I think one of the speakers said that they want to transform the education system. I think you may have studied, and can you reveal your finding to us, what you found, and that you want to transform to a new system, and how long will this take you?
Okay, this is Gono.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Jabata. Gono, hold on. Mr. Jabata, you done, right?
Yes, I'm done.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Gono. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Gono. I talk about transforming the educational system in Liberia. That really is not a study. This is very pragmatic. This is very practical. In the Liberian elementary educational system, for instance, I went to Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, and I went to the U.S. International University, sat in classroom with Kenyan students. The way they were perceiving us from say West Africa or from Liberia was different. The way I saw children learn in high school in Kenya was very different. Okay. In Ghana, I went to Ghana. I saw the way children learn in high school in Ghana. For instance, I have a friend of mine whose sister went to Ghana to school. The way they learn in Ghana is different. Theoretically, if you study WAEC, West African Examination Council test they gave in Liberia, if you study it, why is it that WAEC in Ghana, they take, I think, GCE, and we in Liberia, we do multiple choice. So my point here is, it is about the system, the education system in Liberia, the elementary school system, education system is not about advancing Liberians. It is about sorting and filing Liberians, so that if you fail the national exam, you will not be able to advance if your people don't have money at all. You'll either maybe go to some little school and just try to learn something quick, or you'll return to your town or village, or you'll stay there, and then you'll grow old, marry, born children, and you'll be it. Then we say literacy rate in Liberia is high. But unlike that, we have not tried to improve our curriculum that will be able to meet our reality on the ground. We are not been able to do that. That's the difference that we vote. We think we can be able to do that to transform the educational system. That's what I was talking about.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification. And by the way, Mr. Randolph Jabate in New York is a school teacher, and perhaps that explains his interest in the area of education. So let me take one new caller, and then I'll come to a follow-up caller. My next follow-up caller will be Sayzay. I'm looking at your number here, so go nowhere, stay here. Let me take this new caller now. 6872, 6872. Would you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for my studio guest? 6872.
My name is Famata Williams. I'm calling from Clayton, North Carolina.
All right, Famata Williams, welcome to the show. Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is my actually second time being on here, and I'm very impressed. My question is, it has not much to probably have to do with politics, but I've been on here maybe 30 minutes now, so I'm not sure who I'm addressing, but when it comes to homosexuality, what is your stand, or what if you are elected into power in Liberia, what are you going to do? Because every time you go on social media websites, it's like Africans are embracing gay marriages. But where do you stand when it comes to that?
Okay. Where will your party stand, Mr. Whapoe? Where if a vote was elected 2016, 2017, where does your party stand on homosexuality?
Okay, good question. That is a very crucial issue that people find it difficult to address. But with me, it's simple. Besides being a political leader, or besides our ability as a group to ascend to leadership, everyone has his or her own moral values that they belong to. We have culture that we came from, and it is the culture that makes us who we are. We have religion that we belong to, and it's our religious beliefs make us who we are. And based on those values, moral laws are developed, mores are developed, folkways are developed, and constitutions are developed. And the best thing about constitution leaves room for interpretation. But government-wise, if it comes to government, I don't think Liberia has a specific place in the constitution that addresses homosexualism. But what we will believe is this: if you practice any action that has to affect anybody negatively, then we will come in and address that issue. Okay, your action does not only benefit you as an individual, but it affected somebody. And once that person embraces the idea and detests the idea and bring it to our authority that I do not like this, we will be on that person to support that person, that person's right is protected. But if people will get up willingly, and our administration will not promote that, because we have values. We are Christian. We are Muslims. We have value. We believe that Muslim doesn't support that. We believe that Christian doesn't support that. But equally, every individual has his or her own right to pursue their happiness. But where you go to pursue your happiness and your happiness having to interfere with somebody else's happiness, then we, the government, will come in to protect that person whose right has been violated. So if you want to practice your homosexualism, you do it by yourself. But if we find out that your practice is bringing diseases in the community, your practice is affecting people, you're harassing people because of their socio-economic status, you're harassing them to use them because you have some riches and infiltrate into them and use their situation to aggrandize your own feelings, then will come in to protect that individual. But so long it did not happen in any of those circumstances, that your action did not affect anybody, it did not transgress on anybody's rights, it's in your pursuit of happiness. That's your personal business. But so long any action you take will affect anybody negatively, we will protect that person that you have affected.
Okay.
All right. Now, Gono, I want to come in and a little bit with comment on that.
Just to follow up on what Mr. Whapoe just said.
Who's speaking? Your name, please. Is this Mr. Yonly?
Yeah, Mr. Yonly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what just Mr. Whapoe just said, just to buttress that, Liberia is a democratic country, so we believe in democracy. So if the people in Liberia support whatever they want to do, there be it, because it's a democratic country. If the people support whatever, what kind of system, like, gays or lesbians, there be it. But if the people don't support it, fine. So everything will go through referendum, democracy, and, democracy will prevail. That's my answer.
All right, this Gono.
Yeah, Gono, go ahead.
All right, this is a question of defining political culture and social culture in the country. I know, and then you're putting this, it's like liberalism vs conservatism. Now, somebody once asked me, is Liberia a conservative country or a liberal country? A Liberian person, is a Liberian person liberal or conservative? Actually, you can never distinguish Liberia, define it to say this Liberian person is liberal or the Liberian person is conservative. People don't just know, because our political culture is not defined. So we have to learn and people are willing to go to Liberia, be able to define our political culture. Now, in Liberia, everybody has freedom, but freedom itself has limitations. Even here, for instance, in the American Constitution, Amendment 1 of the First Amendment in the American Constitution that talks about freedom. All right, freedom. It has its own limitation. Your freedom cannot infringe on somebody else's freedom. So if you say you are a gay person, fine, live for your gay life. But if you live and infringe on other people's rights, other people have right to take their freedom, to some action against you, against your own freedom. So it's just a question of trying to define political culture or political and social culture in Liberia in the case of liberalism versus conservatism. Thank you.
Okay. We'll take the next caller, but I'll be willing to bet that that caller, that sister, was looking for an official position that that vote-led government, would adopt issues like that. As far as people doing it individually in their private lives, I don't think that worries anybody. But would there be a time when we will see homosexuality, being legalized in Liberia? I'm just saying. And by the way, she just made an entry to make a follow-up. Hopefully, we'll get time to get to her later. But in the interest of time, let me take the next caller. I'm just, that's a rhetorical call. Don't worry about it. Let's take the next caller here. I'm more concerned about the callers than myself at this time. Let's see what Mr. Sayzay has to say with his follow-up question. Mr. Sayzay, please keep it brief. We are really running short on time. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Sayzay.
Okay, I'm going to do that. Thank you again. I think my question, this is going to be pure. It's going to be a strict question. I believe one of your guests talked about getting rid of dual currency. The question to him is, does he believe in dual citizenship, for Liberia to have dual citizenship? Okay. I believe that getting rid of dual currencies, I try to think about the dual citizenship. And the next one is there any part of the Constitution any of you would like to see change? The reason for this question is there are some of us who believe that the Constitution that we are going by today was not inclusive, that the countrymen, which men were never involved. And there's an argument that the law of liberty brought us here if we have a problem. So as a result, to govern such a country that not everyone that were involved in it, it becomes difficult. Is there any part of the Constitution you would like to see change? If you take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sayzay. Is there any part of the Liberian Constitution and you'd like to see change, and where do you stand on dual citizenship?
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Sayzay Samah. I would like to address the issue of dual citizenship, that question. Like I said earlier, for the past 5 years I've been going to Liberia, and one time I was in Liberia, and that issue came up on the radio, on a talk show. And vividly, I can remember this lady, the previous First Lady, Joel Howard Taylor. She was talking about how the idea of dual citizenship should not be encouraged in Liberia. And the premise of her argument was that, for example, if Liberia and America went to war, if we had dual citizenship, on what side would such an individual be? Would they be on the side of America or on the side of Liberia? My people, my brethren, my sisters, we have to wake up from our slumber. The world is moving ahead. Liberia, we are still sleeping. On the issue of dual citizenship, we have to consider the pros and the cons. To an issue like this, which is very critical, we have to sit down and really see what we stand to benefit from the issue of dual citizenship. I mean, how practical, like Jeremiah said, rightly said, you cannot feed the hand that bites you. How practical is it for Liberia to go to war with America? Our people in Liberia are lying to the so-called, the people that have been privileged to have a little bit of education are lying to the people and fooling the people in Liberia. How can we go to war with America? Liberia, we stand to benefit from dual citizenship. There is a whole lot that we can benefit from as opposed to the negatives. We have been in this country. A lot of us are in America not because we choose to be in America, not because the country is beautiful. It's because of the situation back home, in pursuit of economic opportunity. It doesn't mean that we hate our country. It doesn't mean we don't love the land of liberty.
Okay.
So we have to stop sleeping and wake up from our slumber and be able to really sit down and talk about these issues and do the rightful thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Samah. Mr. Whapoe?
Yeah.
It's January 1st, 2018, and it's a vote-led government in office. Where will your government stand?
Well, you see, the dual currency is something that dual currency issue is a constitutional issue. It's not a party issue. So if by January 1st, 2018, after our inauguration, what we're going to do is this. We want to hear the voices of the people. That maybe, let's say, 10,000 or 100,000 Liberians came over and said, look, we want dual citizenship. Then we visit our constitution. What is the provision in our constitution? Maybe the constitution forbids dual citizenship. Then what we'll do to make sure that Liberians are speaking, we'll call for referendum on that issue. If Liberian people are willing to see that happen, we'll go to a constitutional referendum, and when we get the right number to amend that portion the portion that detests dual citizenship, we'll get rid of it and bring it in. But until the Constitution can agree on it, whatever the Constitution has on that provision right now, we'll hold on to it until we can get the right referendum to replement that. The reason is this: we are not people that are taking law into our own hands. What makes the country stand is the law of that country. We are going to be the protector of that Constitution. So if the Constitution says give privilege for dual citizenship, we give that privilege. If the Constitution says no, don't give it, we'll not give it until we go through the required constitutional provision that says referendum, and we'll encourage those people to peacefully get in the street and call for that referendum and collect the right numbers from across the country. And once that correct number, we can have it in our office. We'll go through it and rectify that and give the opportunity for people who want to become dual citizens. But until it can go through the legal process, we are not people who are going to take law into their own hands. So to answer that question, that's a constitutional issue, and it will be addressed by the Constitution.
Okay.
This is Gono.
Gono, I thought it was after you before we came to Whapoe, right?
No,
that was Samah.
Yeah.
Okay, so quickly,
quickly, I strongly agree with what Mr. Whapoe just elaborated on, that it's a constitutional issue. But for me, he's talking about whether there should be any changes in the Constitution. I tell you, law is all about language. The idea of law, all lawyers, I did a learn in law school, and I also learned that it's about language. So there's a need for certain kind of languages to be changed in the Constitution of Liberia, and that is basically on gender. For instance, in some part of the Constitution, it says the president, he. They use the word he. It should be he or she. So that's a language issue in the Constitution that really needs to be changed. So I will start with that and just agree with what Mr. Whapoe just elaborated on right now.
Okay. I'll take one new caller, and then I'll go to another follow-up caller. And my next follow-up caller will be Mr. Kroma, so don't go nowhere. I'll get to you soon, Mr. Kroma, and then we'll come to Keita and the sister who called earlier. I got a whole lot of follow-up callers. But let me take a new caller, so I can take one from each group. 5728, 5728. Would you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question from our studio guest, 5728.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. My name is Bengali Trawale, calling from Minnesota. And I'd like to thank our studio guests, particularly one person I know very well, Mr. Hampson. I guess he knows himself when I say Mr. Hampson.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I'm very much impressed with you guys coming up. And of late, there was another group of Liberians here in the United States or organizing themselves to as a political party. I guess they go as far as doing their registration with the Election Commission. And I think they call themselves ANC. So it appears to me that that idea of multiplying our existing political party is just on the rise. And my question is, given the proliferation of political parties, we pretty much, there are some other school of thought believe that it's just a recipe to chaos when you have too many political parties. So what's going to happen is they're going to narrow it down to tribal sentiment and what have you. And whereas narrowing the political parties down to at least a minimum number would do well for Liberia. So are you people looking at that context to collaborate with some existing parties to be able to reduce what we have, or you think it's just fine to continue that proliferation as much as we can? Whoever emerges, so be it. That's my concern. If you guys can just comment to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Travale.
All right, I'll go first, Gono. Yeah, this is Gono.
Yeah, go, Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Banali, Charlie, thank you so much for your question. I think I know you very well. First, I'll let you know, ANC is a brainchild of CDC. ANC is a new political party that just emerged recently that came out of CDC because they were dissatisfied with leadership in CDC, and they decided that they want to disband themselves from CDC and then they form their own political party. But for vote, it's different. Vote is based on an idea. It's not based on an individual. I will keep saying this, that we are different. We can never emerge with any political party in the sense that those political parties, as Mr. Whapoe explained earlier on, they already have their own ideology or they already have their own personalities that they are built around. And if we also go around them and bring about those kind of new ideas, we don't even think they will be acceptable. People might not even accept them. So I'll just stop there and say that we are different and we wish to do things differently in Liberia as compared to other political parties. Thank you.
Mr. Gono, though, before I let you go on that question, so if you are so different that you think all parties, existing parties, will not want to value your idea, so it's a good thing to form your party. Will your party then support any other group of Liberians to form new party on and on and on? Would that be an idea that your party will support?
For our party to support, no.
Let me come in with that. Let me help. Let me come in. You see, the whole thing is that our party does not have that leverage to encourage other people to establish party.
No, to support them, not to encourage them, just to support them in the process.
Okay, but why will we be supporting our party or be supporting other party to establish other party? We will not do that. Period. We're not going to do that. But we assume government in Liberia. The idea in Liberia is not a matter of more political party. It's a matter of the standard in which they set for these parties. How can you raise a party today after election, then you gone? Nobody sees you. Then when another election comes in, you appear. Because there's no standard. That's the problem. It's not the problem of the party, it's the problem of the standard that people set for these institutions. So what we will do, we will set standard that people will make it, will find it very important and very, very necessary. If they want to come into the political arena to establish a political institution, we'll have a standard that will go back. If they can meet up with a standard, we cannot stop democracy. That's not our responsibility. But we'll set a standard for democracy that people will abide by it. When they abide by it, then that institution will be viable. Then Liberian people will know that democracy is at its best. So the answer to that question is it's a matter of standard. It's not a matter of many parties. But what we'll do, we'll improve the standard and set a standard for institutions that when you come into existence as a political party, these are the standards you'll meet. But if you cannot meet everybody's standard, we'll dissolve you because you do not meet up with the qualification, the criteria of being a viable institution. The standard that is present in Liberia is not up to date. That's why you see a lot of proliferation because people are just going because they see election coming, they go. After election, they disappear. We're not going to have that kind of institution. We're not going to have that kind of government in place. We're going to have a government that will set standard, a responsible government and civilized government that will pay attention to the needs of the Liberian people versus people going to reap with their individual interests. At the end of the day, they disappear. We're not going to do that. And the next idea is that people, they say we're going to encourage other political parties, any institution that want to join us, that buy the idea of working for the Liberian people, serving the Liberian people, making opportunity accessible, moving Liberian forward instead of keeping it on a dogmatic state, keeping the status quo. If you believe in that change process, you believe in that transformation, when you come to us, we're going to embrace you. But where you will bring idea that will keep Liberian people down so we can stay to where we are today, the answer to that question is no.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it there. Let's take Mr. Fulwood Kromer from Philadelphia. Please keep it brief, your follow-up question, sir. Welcome back to the show, your follow-up question, Mr. Kromer.
Thank you very much. Fulwood Kromer again, calling from Chester, Pennsylvania. Okay, this is a follow-up. My first comment has to do with this technical development, technical advancement that you're talking about when you take over power. And I still ask the question in terms of dollar and cents. How many millions of dollars are you talking about in your projection that you will take Liberia to the next level? I still didn't hear that. You did comment on the sources, the perceived sources where financial resources will come from, but you still didn't tell us what your plan entails in terms of dollar and cents.
Okay.
I would sincerely love to know that. And another concern is why everybody who is a Liberian and considering himself a consideration material does not also look at himself as a viable material to serve Parliament. If we got a stronger Parliament, definitely all of the fabulous changes you guys are advancing will definitely fall in place. But everybody wants to be president in Liberia, so you end up getting 27, 28, 29 political parties or 26 political parties, and all of those want to be president. They are all there. I mean, nice people, well-educated, well-experienced, well-schooled, but yet they're too good to serve the Liberian Parliament. So as a result, we find the wrong people in Parliament, and those excellent ideas you're talking about cannot go anywhere. Just a sidetrack. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I respond to Mr. Kromer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Kromer, the issue is whether money is not there. We are talking about management issue and accountability right here. Let me set an example. When I came from graduate school, my first job I took in Chicago here was to work with the city. When I worked with the city, Chicago had about up to 13,000 homeless population. Don't Chicago has money to get rid of those homeless population? They got money, but the money was misdirected, was mismanaged. So when I took over the agency, they get this book they call a Code of Federal Regulation. It got different regulations in that book that manages the society. And what happened? It had policies in there. The policy was the one that was creating problems for the city and the state, but they were to identify that problem. It's a management issue. So when I took that book to set a difference in Chicago, in Illinois, what I did, I went through that book, and I was able to identify the loophole of creating homelessness in Chicago here. And after I identified that problem, what I did, I took that issue to the director of the entire agency. We discussed it. Then she asked me, how can you fight it? I said, all you have to do, give me an opportunity, let me go defend my proposal. And when I did my proposal, I went and defended it. I told them, the law that you have in the book, one strike rule. And what the one strike rule says is that from the day you were born up to the time you live, if you commit one crime in the state of Illinois, you commit one crime, you cannot receive a student loan, you cannot receive government assistance, you cannot be paying city home, you cannot benefit anything from government. So as a result, when people go to jail, when they come from jail, all they have to do, because they cannot be hired, they cannot get jobs, they have to commit crime again, and the recidivism rate was very high. So what I did is identify that loophole and took it to the Senate. I defend that law need to be revisited. And when a defendant successfully, what happened? They changed the law until today. It is not one strike rule anymore. Is if you commit crime in the past 10 years, then government will not able to help you. So the reason I said this example is that these things is not because the resources not there. It is the idea of management, accountability. Once we put this system into place, that people will be accountable and will have the right people to do the right job, not to take somebody who studied foreign policy and send it to agriculture, then we'll be able to do the right thing because we'll be directing the force into the right place. You understand? So it is not a matter of the money is not there. It is a matter of the system that you set up to manage for accountability, to serve the people. We talk about service, to serve the people. Accountability. That's what the issue is about. It's not that the money is not there. The money is there. Do you think Eleanor was keeping those 13,000 homeless people because they never had money? No, because of the law. So when we got rid of the law, you know how many homeless population, the entire Eleanor right now, we cannot go above 3,000. Eleanor homeless population is never going above 3,000 in the past, I don't know how many years. So the next thing, by 2020, Chicago will be out of homelessness completely. Go and see that 2020 vision. 2020 here is, by the year 2020, Eleanor should be out of homelessness completely. So from 13,000, we are tapping 3,000 right now because we changed that policy. So it's about policy issue, it's about accountability, it's about responsibility.
Okay. I think it's, if the first question had to do with some dollar and cent as to the prejudice, the technical infrastructural development. He wanted to know the dollar and cent.
If you want to.
Okay, go ahead. Gono.
Yeah, you were talking about why not use this idea to go into, say, legislative branch of government or something like that. But I can tell you, people on this line are not saying that they want to become a president in Liberia. What they are saying here is that they are giving the idea to Liberia that the idea will be able to develop our country in a sense, so that in the future, people in Liberia will be able to elect the person that they want. Not that one individual here will say, I'm going to Liberia as a political party to become a president of Liberia. It's not that. That's not the idea we have here.
Okay. All right. Let's take a new caller here. We really tight on time. Actually, we might go over time briefly just to accommodate. So let's take one new caller and then we'll come back to a follow-up caller. So our new caller this time will be, I believe it's a New York caller, the 917 area code. 1212-1212-1212. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for my studio guest. 1212.
My name is Abraham Toure from New York.
Okay.
My question is, your political power, your government, where do they stand when it comes to reconciliation in the country? Right now, we are so divided. We hate one another for no reason. What will you do to reconcile the citizens of Liberia?
Thank you.
And how will you go about doing it? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Toure. So what will you do about reconciliation and how will you do it?
Okay, thank you very much. Gono, you want to come in?
Yeah, this is Sayzay. I was trying to come in.
Yes, okay. Yeah, okay.
Go in, Sayzay.
Yeah, go ahead, Sayzay.
Thank you very much, caller. I just forgot your name. But one thing we can all attest to, Liberians are forgiving people. And Liberians by nature are good people. This war was a nasty history. I mean, was a nasty encounter. It's part of our history, and we cannot ignore it. But one thing I know, and I believe, that Liberian people are forgiving. Because I remember growing up back home, things like crimes, and we're basically not, we're basically to some extent, to a high extent, unheard of in Liberia. But with the war, when the war came, Liberians just got nasty against one another. So when it comes to reconciliation, I believe that during the war, like I said earlier, there were no winners. We all became losers, and that's why we put the guns down to return to the table of brotherhood. So it's just about leadership. The people at the top, if they can create the right environment, and that's already happening, if they can create the right environment, which is the vision of Liberia, of vote, to empower the Liberian people to be able to move the country in the right direction, I think reconciliation will not be any problem.
Okay. Gono, yeah, I'm going to just add on to that. When it comes to national reconciliation, I think the reason we have problems in Liberia is that system we have in Liberia that is not based on meritocracy. That is, people who don't merit anything are given based on, say, maybe friendship, or based on some kind of connection, maybe I'll say illegal connection. But with vote, we are going to make sure that people in various areas of government are placed because they merit it. And once everybody sees them, I mean, everybody will be friendly, everybody will live in a social setting in a way to advance the country itself. But if you have a system that is not based on that, that is based on one person or let's say one social group taking disadvantage of the other social group, that's when you have problems. So for instance, let's take it this way. Every day I hear, we have Mandingo people land in Nima County. What is the right solution for that? Now, if you have a system that is accountable to everybody, despite disregarding your tribe or your ethnicity, all right? Once you have that system, fine. Everybody will live in peace. Individual will be held accountable to what they do, not collective guilt. Once that system is in place, good. Everybody will live in peace. There will be no problem in Liberia. Thank you.
Okay. This is Jeremiah. Let me come in. The first thing is that I'm very happy for the brother to ask that question, and the reason is this: Liberia has come a long way. Liberia is a melting pot. Melting pot meaning Liberia is like a teaching thing. Everybody from around the world go there to have peace of mind, and that's our culture, that's our value, and we're going to keep it that way. The reason for which Liberia is yet to enhance peace right now because we do not have the right people there who know about what living in peace means. We literally took people who believe in war and violence to make them our leaders. So therefore, if you are not able to seek your own peace, how do you think you can seek another person's peace? You can. First thing, the people do not have the know-how. If you want to make peace in a country, peace-making process is about total involvement. Gentlemen, ladies, peace is about total involvement. For example, if our government should be successful, vote government should be successful in Liberia to assume leadership, the first thing is we're going to ask the Liberian people, you want to live in peace or you want to live in chaos? And the answer to that question will be we want to live in peace. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to have the people who are having the differences to come and sit down together, not just to throw a ball on the table, but to devise ideas that will make them to bring them together. The reason we want to do that is that when people are involved in the process, anything that will affect them, when they are involved in the process of making that regulation, they are bound to respect that regulation because they themselves made it. Gentlemen, how can you make peace in Grand Jida County, between Nimba County and Grand Jida County, and go have the peace accord in Ghana? It's realistic. How can you make peace between Bon County and Nimba County when you want to have the peace accord in Guinea? That's not realistic. It's not realistic. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the people involved. What can we do so you people can live together in harmony? And they will bring an idea. The Mandingo men will bring an idea. The Gio men will bring the idea. The Crown men will bring the idea. We'll put on the table. And we'll be able to filter which one is feasible that everybody in this process will have peace or the pie. It's not a matter of a win or lose, but people who want to make peace, they should be willing to give something away. If you want peace, you can't say you want to win everything. Every party should be able to give something away. For example, if we want to make peace in Liberia right now, and we say, okay, for example, let's take a common example between the Mandingo people and the Nimba people with the land issue. And we say, okay, we want to make peace for Mandingo people to go back to Nimba County. Then we say, okay, that is give the Mandingo people take all the land because they're sitting now on it. Do you think we're really ready to make peace? Or if we say again, we say, okay, we want to go to Nimba County to make peace, but we're going to take all the land from the Nimba people and give it back to Mandingo people. You think we'll be ready to make peace? No. What we're going to do, somebody that all these people that involved in it, they should be willing to give something away. And when we reach to that point that they are really willing to make peace and willing to give something away, we'll be able to achieve the peace in Liberia. So therefore, the answer to that question is we'll have everybody that involved in this conflict, in the peacemaking, they will come and sit down on the same table. How can we live together? And they will be propounded, will bring the ideas on the table and discern something from there that they will be able to live together. But we will not make the peace without involving the people. They will be involved in it.
Okay. The parties should be involved. I like that. That's a very good strategy. That was a new caller. So let's take one follow-up caller, and then we'll come to one new caller again. The sister, I forgot your name again. 6872. Would you please tell us your name again and your follow-up question, ma'am? 6872.
This is Famata Williams again from North Carolina. The moderator had rightly put when he said I was looking for a stand from you guys. What is your stand? Because the thing is, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Just going with a crowd, like, okay, because people support this, so I'm going to support it. What is your personal stand? Because I believe religion has a lot to do with good leadership. If you do not have that backbone, you will just go with anything, and that's why we have so much corruption in Liberia. Because people don't have any religion. They don't worship nobody. They don't worship God. So they come up with all these things, appoint family members who are not qualified to do anything. So I believe if you have religion, you can make some good decisions for the country. The corruption that's going around, I know it will stay happening, but it will be at a minimum. So I just need to know where you stand on this issue because it's becoming rampant in
on
America.
The issue of gay?
Yeah, gay, homosexuality, yeah.
Okay, let me give you my personal issue on that. Let me give you my personal on that.
Famata, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done because the thing is I know you cannot legislate morality, but behavior, according to Dr. Martin Luther King, can be regulated. So what is your personal stand on this issue? Because when people go to the poll to vote, these are things they take into consideration.
Okay, let me give you my personal stand on it. This is Jeremiah Whapoe. I am a Christian. I came from a Christian home, and my moral teaches me woman and man. Period. Woman and man. Period. That's my personal stand. I do not believe in gayism or lesbianism. Woman and man. If that's not woman and man idea to sit together as husband and wife, that's not my idea. I don't support that kind of idea. Personally, I don't support it. That's my stand on it. I believe in woman and man, not man and man or woman and woman. Woman and man. Period.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Whapoe, this is Yonly. Can I come in?
Yeah, come, Mr. Yonly.
Oh, okay. I think the lady in North Carolina, I'm not sure what her stand is too. I'm not sure whether she's a gay or what. I'm not sure, but I mean, Liberia is a democratic country, and if you want to know my opinion too, I too believe that man and a woman, should be the people backing up in force, or I cannot, put my belief on other people. Okay, that's why Liberia is a democratic country. So the country, the people decide what kind of system or what kind of society they want to live in. And that's why he explained to you from the beginning that you can practice what you want to practice so long as you don't infringe on other people's rights.
That's right.
Yeah, so basically those are some of the answers. I think he answered it, and besides that, he also explained about himself, what he believes in. I also explained about myself what I believe in. I believe in that man and woman should be, or whatever. But I cannot enforce my beliefs on other people. But the Constitution or the democracy in that country will decide what kind of system they want.
With the religious aspect, she asked about religion. With the religious aspect, I believe in free religion. People, if you're Muslim, you can live in Liberia the way you want to live. If you're Christian, you should live in Liberia the way you want to live, but yet do not infringe on anybody's right. Once you infringe on somebody and it goes to constitutional issue, we will address it. Whether you're gay or you're lesbian, that's your business. But personally, I believe in a relationship between man and woman.
Okay, this is Gono.
Okay, Mr. Gono, why?
Now, we're still coming back to the same thing we said from the beginning about defining the political system, political culture of Liberia, political and social culture of Liberia. Personally, I can tell you, I am an honorable evangelist in Celestial Church of Christ. So morally, I believe that God created man and woman. Okay, they should go together. But at the same time of my education, I learned a lot about liberalism, conservatism, and all of that. So I've been trying to really define the political culture of Liberia in terms of liberalism and conservatism. I don't know where we're going. But I can tell you, political system evolves. So I believe that maybe the Liberia political system will evolve to embrace some maybe liberalism in the future. So I can say personally, I don't believe in that, in gay, lesbianism. I don't believe in that, and gay thing, I don't believe in that at all. But we have to live according to our democracy. So the democracy has two things.
I haven't looked at the Liberian Constitution in recent time, but if any of you have, is there such thing in the Liberian Constitution that talks about the separation between the church and the state? And if so, can we shift that argument over to leaving the idea of marriage, people relationship over to the religious institution as opposed to government policing people bedroom activity? Would that be one way of looking at it, Mr. Whapoe?
Well, government, the purpose for government is for social control. As we said earlier, if your behavior will not judge you about your character, but will judge you about the consequence of your character. So, if, for example, if you are involved in gazing and your gazing having to infringe on somebody that you're harassing people to have something to do with them, and your attitude has accepted them, and the consequence of that attitude is accepting the larger society, then will come in and redefine and make sure that you understand what it means to live in a society. Society, when you live in a society, the society has rules that people go by. So you sure if you are doing your gazing, the impact of it should just affect you as an individual. But once, let's try to understand this thing clear, ladies and gentlemen. It's clear. If your behavior will affect somebody, it affects somebody, that it becomes a government issue, will come in and intercept. But if it doesn't affect anybody, will not come in. Simple.
But Mr. Whapoe, there are many ways people's behavior affect other people, sometimes not physically. I mean, the mere fact that a child is going to grow up to look at someone as role model, someone his or her family does not, adore as role model, but yet a child growing up seeing the next door neighbor as a gay or lesbian person and come to think that that's the right thing to do. Some way that can be defined as having an effect on that person's family. But anyway, like I said, let's take a new caller
I can think a little bit.
The way you can infringe your right on other people, you can infringe your ways on other people. That's what we.
Absolutely, I agree. Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. Let me take this caller, Mr. Whapoe. We really short of time here. Let me tell you, it's been interactive for the most part, and some of these people have been sitting here for a long time. So let's take this new caller here. And I'll come to you, Mr. Peter, for the follow-up call after the new call. 5158-5158. Would you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question from our studio guest? 5158. Hello?
Yes. My name is Cecilia Hippie. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, welcome, Cecilia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I would like to know, I never heard of this party before, and I would like to know how long you guys been in existence, or were you a registered party during the election, or are you one of those, parties that, been going in and out of Liberia, because we have few parties that go, every election they go and register. Now the government is thinking about having 3 or 4 major parties. Where do you find yourself in that group? Because I've been trying to do a little research on you. I have not seen anything on the internet, and you mentioned something about you guys having a non-profit organization over there. Are you just operating in Liberia now as a non-profit organization and trying to put this political party together? Or what, can you answer my question?
This is Whapoe.
Thank you.
What we're doing in Liberia, what we're doing right now in Liberia is we are conglomerations of change agents that are coming together that empirically diagnose Liberia's problem and brought ideas and people together so we can solve that problem. Our institution is an emerging institution. We are still going through the registration process in Liberia. We just completed the 3 phases of our registration, and we are in the last phase of our registration, which is to get a certification. But as of present, we have our social service institutions on ground that are undertaking some projects in the Liberian community. But that's the status we are in right now. We are not one of those hit and run political parties. We are institutions that are emerging, that identifies Liberia problem, and we intend to change it, and we intend to go to remain in Liberia. And this, for clarity, this organization was given birth to in the Republic of Liberia. It's not just coming from here to go and impose on Liberian people. We gave birth to this organization in Liberia, and it's been worked out over there, and we are going through the legal process. And hopefully, sooner or later, we'll be finished with our certification. We'll be working. And we have our local office in Liberia that we are functioning in right now as a nonprofit, but we are on the move to go to be in Liberia and to remain there. And we are looking for like-minded people like you, who is willing to join the change agents, so we can make change, so we can be part of the team to make change. And we're looking forward for you to join us to make this change together. The way we are right now with our status.
All right, thank you, Cecilia. If you have follow-up question, please dial *61. But that's the response to your initial question. So let's take one follow-up caller, Mr. Keita, Rochester, Minnesota. Welcome back to the show. Your follow-up question, please keep it brief. We're really short on time.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, how are you? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I'm so energetic because I could call more than 10 times, but for the sake of other people that I want to call to, I think I will give a chance. Thank you for giving the opportunity to make a follow-up question, to make a follow-up comment and a question. I think my doctor at JFK said I'm well, so I think I can give more. All right. The first thing I want to ask President Gono, because I think he's speaking more than other people. I don't know where they have their own convention to have what kind of leadership they have right now in the diaspora. How can you rate? What's the percentage can you accredit the LLA administration? That's the first question. And the second that is this. What is your rating of the Unity Party government? What is the rating for the past time being in office? What is your rating? Or what percentage can you accredit to the Unity Party government? The question number 2 is this. Like I told you, all that you have said have been heard before. I think the beautiful idea that you have, but going to Liberia, like someone said, that one of the members said that they were just in Liberia for 6 weeks, does not in any way identify other most of the problems of Liberia. So you must have the brave mind to live in Liberia. Like you're doing now, it has been a case in the past. You want to come as a political party, quote unquote, right now you have non-profit organization. Election come, you do your bargaining. If you don't have a job, if you placement in National Port Authority or whatsoever, you don't have a chance, you sell your political party by emerging, run back to the diaspora. What is the rating for the early layer government? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keita. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Gono.
Yeah, Mr. Keita, I just want to thank you so much for that question. But I think if you listen very keenly to Mr. General Maya Whapoe, he said everything that you needed to know about this particular party that is emerging in Liberia right now. On the question of my rating of the present government, I have no idea. I have no idea in the sense that I cannot be a judgment on a particular Liberian government or as a Liberian citizen who is very patriotic. I cannot judge the current Liberian government right now. I cannot.
Okay,
you want to come in? Yeah, this is Cesar Samah.
Okay.
I would like to follow up on what my brother just said, Clarence. I mean, when you talk about rating, I mean, what I really want to understand what the question is because, I mean, we are not talking about numbers. We are talking. We're trying to get practical with the Liberian people. We know the situation in Liberia when it comes to health care, when it comes to education, when it comes to social injustice when it comes to a host of other things. We know what the problems are in Liberia. It is visible. I don't know how, when last you were in Liberia, but it don't hide. Once you get at the airport, RIA, you will see it on the face of the people. The government has failed the people. Like I said, during the last election, the one prior to the one we just had, when it came down to George Weah and Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf, morally, I was supporting Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf. But she has not been able to deliver. And we are not trying to attack characters here. We are not trying to attack individuals. But the reality is they have not delivered. So when you talk about rating here, I don't know what the skill is, but the fact remains that the current government has not really delivered. And we're trying to change that. We want to be the voice of the people. Thank you.
This is Jeremiah. Let me just allude to what my colleague has said. What's your last name again?
Keita.
Keita. Mr. Keita, thank you very much for that question. But what happened is this. What we don't know is what the government has accomplished. We don't want to judge them, but what we also know is that there are problems that in Liberia that have not been solved, and there have been addition to the problem. So we will enumerate these problems for you, so you can be the judge and see which one they made progress in, or which one they accomplished. We're not judging them, but what we're doing here, we are enumerating the problem like Liberia has had for 165 years, and is yet to be solved. We know the problem. We enumerate it. Number one, right now, Liberian lifespan before the war, after the war, up to this present, Liberian lifespan was 59, but it has reduced to 41. So you tell me what is the progress? That's two. The second one is Liberia is identified as one of the poorest nations in the world. But prior to this, Liberia contributed to the independence of Nigeria. Liberia contributed to the independence of Ghana. Liberia contributed to the independence of the Chinese people. When Mao Zedong was killing people in China, Liberia contributed to the freedom of those people. And today, China is now coming to Liberia and reaping what they want to reap. So that's where Liberia used to be. Liberia now is one of the poorest countries in the world. Number two, Liberia, from the time immemorial, since Tobo died, road network has been damaged. Liberia, since Tobo died, I have not seen one greater to go in any rural area to get anywhere. That's where we are right now. You tell me, you can rate the government, you the one know about it better, but what we know is that Liberia has problems. Number two, Liberians are dying on a daily basis. Every 1,000 child that is born in Liberia, 337 of them die before they reach the age of 5. The statistic. Visit the Marine Health Organization website. Visit WHO website. Every 100,000 women that deliver in Liberia, 580 of them there's a high possibility that they will die. That's a fact. It exists in Liberia. You tell us, you can rate the government. What we also know is that Liberia does not have access to health. And we enumerated the problem. So you can give us, you know about it, give all the rating. We do not rate government. We don't know what they're doing, but we know the problem that Liberians are going through.
Okay. All right. Obviously, we've passed our intended, end time. And so now we just shooting for 11, which will be 12 at your end, which is I feel a little bad about that. It's Sunday, Monday. A lot of you have to go to work. A lot of us have to go to work. So we got 19 minutes left to make up to at least 11 o'clock at my local Minnesota time. So let's try to keep answers and questions brief, and so that we can take these people out of here. They are all eager to talk to you, to hear from you. That's why they are here. So let's take one new caller, and then we'll go to another follow-up caller. The new caller, Sayzay, you will be the follow-up caller. But let me take my new caller here. 7332. Your name, where you calling from, and your question from my studio guest. 7332.
Actually, I'm not a new caller, but I just changed phone. But
you tricked me. Okay, yeah. Who's this?
This is Jabate Randolph from New York.
Okay, you changed phone. Okay, all right. What's your luck? What do you have to say this time? This is your last.
Yeah. Have any of you had any leadership position in our Liberian community? I emphasize in our Liberian community.
Yes.
And what experience did you get that will help you to lead our nation?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
I can come in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, I'm an activist. I can tell you this. I was UNICO PA Secretary General one time. I was Assistant Secretary General for Liberian Association of Pennsylvania during one of the administrations that passed. And since then, I've been very, very active in electing leadership. For instance, I was very active in electing Anthony Cassidy. If you take a telephone call and put a telephone call to Anthony Cassidy or somewhere where he is and ask him, do you know Gono? What he did, he said, Gono was very active in my election. So I've been very active in the Liberian community when it comes to leadership. Even Dan Dennis, the current president of the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania, asked me one time to go as a Secretary General. I said no. I was doing my doctoral program, and it's a very serious thing to do, so I will not have time to do all of that, to go around in terms of leadership. I won't be able to do that. So I've been very active. And that experience that I got from those times, I think they are helping me a lot. I've learned a lot.
Okay. Thank you. How about you, Mr. Whapoe? Any previous experience that can be brought to the project?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of leadership role in Liberia. First of all, I gave birth to human rights advocates in Liberia. I was the only person that stood tall and firm and took Mr. Charles Taylor, the former president of Liberia. I was the only person that took him to court because of the gross human rights violation in Liberia before he was even indicted by the International Court. How much I can stand when I mean something, I mean it. I mean business. I have thought I can stand. Besides that, I have established several organizations that serve the Liberian community. Right now, I am an executive director of Liberia Rescue Fund International, and we're engaging in a lot of philanthropic activities in Liberia, taking computers, cargo Liberian children in their schools over there. Besides that, serving the broader community, Liberian community, I was once the election commission chairman for the Illinois chapter of the Liberian community here in during my filling in that position, my service in that position was the time Mr. Gay Disler, who is the current ULA president, was brought into politics. So those are roles that I play. But one thing I will tell you is that I like to be part of a group that make difference. If you will be done, there's a possibility that when I look at you, we advise you don't make. People can take a different direction that we can make change for us, being part of the system that continue to do the same thing and expect different results. In science, they call that insanity. If you do the same thing and expect different results, that's insanity, and I don't want to belong to those kind of institutions. So if any institution I belong to, they practice that, I try to esteem myself.
Okay, Mr. Yonly?
Yeah, basically, I think I don't buy the idea of, putting all, they give a parable, like you have, the old wine in new bottles. And that's some of the things we recycle politicians in Liberia. We have a lot of people who participate in politics, and they've been doing a lot of wrong things. So we need new people who have new ideas and new interests, new patriotism in the country. I for one, participated in a lot of Liberian associations around here in Florida. I participated in the Liberian Association in Florida. I once served as a president, vice president, all that. But the main point here is we need people who will have new ideas, who will go home and go with that purpose of changing things, because most of the people on the ground now, what they do is just, I need my pot to boil, because that's the main thing in Liberia right now when you get there. My pot needs to boil. Even the policemen, you can get all your documents correct, they will just stop you. You show your paper, they don't want to look at it. They want something. Okay. And those kind of barrier, we need to break it. So we need people who have new ideas.
Okay, so former vice president, former president of the Liberian community in Florida. Mr. Sayzay, Samah, how about you? Quickly.
Yes, thank you very much, my brother. To be honest with you, I have been more of a private citizen. In the past, I love my people. I love Liberia, and when it comes to the issue of Liberia, I've never really had like a leadership position in organization, but locally here in North Carolina, in Raleigh in particular, if you know of anybody, that lives in Raleigh or Liberian, if you ask them about me, as far as when, anything is going on, anything involving Liberians, I am always visible, but I play the back scene because I believe that everybody cannot be leaders, but it is that love for country. It's that love for our people. So for some of us, we've been in the back, but at this point in time in our lives, the fight for freedom has become personal for some of us. And this is the time, this is the right time for Liberia, and we are going to take this opportunity to take our message out there to the Liberian people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Folks, please, I can't emphasize this enough. Please keep your questions brief. The rabbinic callers here. I really want to get us out of here at 11, which should be 12 midnight on the East Coast. Please keep your questions brief, and please ask one more question. The party is here to stay, and we probably can't ask all the questions tonight. Most certainly, we'll be more than happy to bring them back on at a later time, or I'm sure they will appear on other shows around. So please keep your questions brief, one question, so we can finish up the show here. Mr. Sayzay, welcome back to the show. Anthony Sayzay, your follow-up question quickly.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm not even going to ask questions that will lead to other answers, but I just want to make a comment about the question we asked. I'm sorry to really say that I did not see anything that would move me to say maybe I could join the party. I know that the fellow kept talking about, that's why we need people, because the answer given to just simple question, like the question that the lady asked, the gay and lesbianism. Okay, right now they are trying to make it a law there, just as the same debate here. We are African. Never in the history of Africa that we should be even talking about gay and lesbianism being legalized. They're trying to legalize it. All right, I believe when the lady asked that question, I was one of those that were really happy about it. But none of you guys could even stand up to say I would make it illegal. Even if somebody talk about it in the street, I would make it illegal. But you were saying something that will not even please the Liberian people. Do you think Liberian people really want to hear that? It's an abomination. If you just stand for what you really believe, what would make me think to join such a party? Simple question like that. So I really, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit disappointed, but maybe as times go by, you convince some of us, that would be great. But that's maybe
when they adjust their position on certain issues, right?
This is the point. When I go to Ghana, when Hillary Clinton was going to Ghana, they say if that's the issue Hillary Clinton want to carry to Ghana, the Ghanaians too bad. They say they should never step in Ghana. African tradition will never embrace such a thing. You myself from Africa, and we here talking about we get to put their rights. Do you think you go there, your brother will even like you? Somebody put out, if you are accepting that today to have for other men to go along with it, it's because
thank you. Your point is well taken.
Mr. Moderator,
your point is well taken. All right, Mr. Sayzay. I got a question line. Your point is well taken. Go no quickly, Anthony Sayzay.
Mr. Sayzay, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but we are giving you an educated answer to that question, and that answer was the right thing that we had to say. So if you want us all to say, we'll go and just tell people if you are gay or somebody like that will do this to you. No, we are moving into an evolution of politics. And so there's an evolutionary time in politics all over the world. Even here, Obama changed his position things. So, people are evolving. So, we are very educated people. We can't just come on stage and say, this is what we'll do. No. We won't tell you that.
Okay. All right. For Martha William, the lady who asked about the gay lesbian issue, ma'am, please keep it brief. We are completely out of time. Please keep it brief, ma'am.
I'm just going to make a statement because I asked the speaker to go to where her sins were. And my sin is because I know one of them alluded to the point that, maybe she's gay. No, I am not. I've been married to my high school sweetheart for about 10 years come December. So I am not a support gang. So that's why I wanted to know where you stand. So if I should have the opportunity to vote in Liberia, I know your stand on that issue. That was my point.
Good.
Thank you.
Congratulations for your 10-year anniversary. I appreciate it. And thank you for coming on the show, Miss Williams. Mr. Whapoe, do you want to add anything so far or just keep going? Because these are just comments, they're not questions. And I want to get you here all the time. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm very sorry for that gentleman's disappointment, but when people talk about intelligence, I don't want you to look at this thing from the face value. I want you to look at it from deeper perspective. That the lady asked, we answered, and she came back, she asked, what's your stand on it? I gave my stand on it. Yeah. And that alone should be able to interpret something to you where we stand when it comes to this issue. So if you were looking for yes and no question, intelligent people don't answer questions yes and no. They explain and give their position, and exactly that's what we did. So I believe the lady who answered the question, who asked the question, she got an answer to it. So thank you very much. If you want detail, feel free to call me at the end of this program. I'll give you my number. You can call me so we can talk better than this.
Okay, thank you. Cecilia in Atlanta, Georgia. Your follow-up question, please keep it brief, man. And thank you so much for being on the show. Your follow-up question, Cecilia.
Well, you know, these guys, the way they sound tonight, I don't know if this is a question or not. I'm not impressed with you guys. I'm not. And I think we need to know a little bit more about you guys. The reason why I stay up until 12 midnight, you know, I heard about this new party or whatever, and I stay up to listen, and I've been on this phone for almost 2 hours. But I'm not very impressed. And I think the feeling that I have is that one of these political parties I want to go to Liberia and sell their party after all. You guys need to do a little bit more. Maybe you need to, you know, give us your platform and tell us what you would do for the people in the country, because the questions that you are answering tonight, you're not giving the answer that will make somebody to want to follow you. So being a new political party, maybe you need to do a little more research and have a platform that you can bring to the public for us to be able to say, yes, these are people that we want to follow. We came on here, we are all patriotic Liberians, and we are here, you know, on this show for us to know who's going to do the right thing. The guy asked you about raiding the government. Oh, I don't want to raid. But my point tonight is maybe you are one of those grave seekers that we have in Liberia that have been going to Liberia. But that's okay. Whatever you guys are doing, you need to bring a little bit more to us so we can really trust your platform and what you are seeking and what you want to do in Liberia. Because
so, how can you see gravy to where there's no gravy? How can you go from gravy to where there's no gravy?
Okay.
So what just a follow-up question. I want her to be specific. What is her disappointment? She had to say her disappointment and be specific. What did you want to hear that you didn't hear?
Well, no, we don't want to open dialogue between, you know. I'm sure if Cecilia wants, like you said, at the end of before you guys make your closing remark, you can provide your numbers. And also Cecilia has my number. She has number to the show. If she wants to make individual follow-up, we'll be more than happy to connect her to the party officials. But we don't want to open dialogue between you two here. So we'll take a new caller here, probably our last new caller for the night. 6844. I think it should be Professor Ma Daniel. 6844. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for my studio guest. 6844.
This is Daniel Ma. I'm calling from Maryland. I might have mixed up the call. I want to ask a couple of questions earlier. Quick question. One is, has the party registered already been cleared by NEC? That's number one. Number two, I understand the sentiment and the conviction that all of you going into in the formation of your party. But one of the major and vexing issue is the issue of finance and support. And there are other political parties who have had the same level of conviction and determination, and they get to Liberia, and they don't make it to the next level. And my advice is that always keep an open mind, because there are people who share similar conviction. They may not have the channel that you have, but if you can team up, you will do greater things and not be close-minded on cooperation. So my first question is, number one, has the party been cleared by NEC already? And the other issue, since I came late and this is my first time, I want to ask a couple of questions quickly. I am not. Some of you give some analysis of what the issues are in Liberia, but many of you did not touch the root cause in terms of those who led us since 1847 till Samah Doe period, and the type of leadership style they have, how it conflicts with any kind of progressive agenda. And I think that there has to be some depth analysis of that. Like Cecilia said, once you come on the public airwaves, you have to have a thick skin, come with all of what you need to face the public. And so I will need more depth analysis of the issue in Liberia from 1847 till Samah Doe period. And, and then the war and everything else. Those are my comments and my question.
Your question. So the only question is, has the party been cleared by NEC? Mr. Whapoe?
Okay, thank you very much. I didn't get your last name, but I understood you are a professor, so thank you very much for that question. And the answer to your question is that we are passed through. That is the last phase of our registration. We are still at NEC, and hopefully in the coming weeks we'll be clearer from NEC. And the next comment you say is that you want in-depth analysis of from 1847, where from Liberia independence to now, so we can bring it to the public. Well, not that we can't do that, but I think that is a little bit more where we expect intelligentsia like you to be informed about the problem before we came here. So if it is our responsibility to detail what has happened from the past that you and myself informed or to enumerate it on this forum, we might not finish today, neither tomorrow, neither until the end of this year. So that would not be something we'll do. But what we could do is, we assume that you and myself know where we have come from and where we are right now, and what we have failed to do. What we could do is to find a way to remedy our problems. Number one, identify the problems and be able to have a system in place that will remedy it. But when it comes to enumerating all of those problems, it's something good that people can do. It's something good that we might be able to do. But if we do that, we might not be able to live from here from now until the end of the year. So that's why we didn't do it. So, but when it comes to some specific that you may want to know, we can get into another discussion later on that you will be able to get in-depth insight of what we intend to do and what we are doing. But what we did tonight is to hit the nail on the head, bring the key issues in Liberia that we all know about. That there's an opportunity. The opportunity has been given to people so they can address the issue, but they ignore it because they do not believe that's something that they can do. And we believe that these are very crucial. The life of Liberian people, their lifespan is very crucial. The emancipation of Liberian people from poverty is very crucial. The ability for Liberia to feed itself is very crucial. And these are issues that people have not been able to address. This whole entire world that we're in, it got out of poverty because of development in agriculture and technology. But Liberia is yet to pay attention to those issues. That's why we brought that issue, because this issue is not only a life issue, but it's a pocketbook issue that will make Liberia, poor old woman on the farm, to be emancipated from poverty if we can invest in agriculture. But those are issues that Liberia has not been able to address. So we are sorry that we did not meet your expectation by bringing a 165-year history to discuss it here tonight. But we believe in the urgency. We want to address the urgency, and it is the urgency that we are put before you. And when we go in this direction, if you join us, if you be part of this group with your intelligence and with your contribution, we'll be able to do more. This organization is open to every enthusiastic, patriotic Liberian to come in. Say, okay, gentlemen, you two have started a good initiative. This is the way we should go. And we'll buy the idea, we'll incorporate the idea to come in. But right now what we're doing is to enumerate the problem and see how we can resolve the problem. This is what we have done tonight. And we were able to answer this question based on what we were asked. So thank you.
Okay, just to add on what this is Yonly from Florida.
Okay, Mr. Yonly, quickly though, we're way past time.
Just a quick fact. On what Brother Whapoe just enumerated, the website is there. It's www.vision4liberia.com, and there you can see the history and all that stuff you just talked about. So everything is on the website. So you go to www.vision4liberia.com, and you'll see it. You can go on Facebook and just put a VOLT, VOLT, and you'll get all the information about the history and all that, the platform, and all that kind of stuff. So basically, the information is there.
Thank you. Speaking of the website, though, I visited the website last night. I spent enormous time looking. You got some good stuff there. I like the Liberian history you got there. But I saw something that was a bit alarming to me. You charge $1,500 annual membership fee. Which dollar are we talking about? Is that US dollar or Liberian dollar? Mr. Whapoe?
Yeah, that amount is US dollars.
$1,500 US dollar.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Let me take these two follow-up callers here, and then I'll let you guys make your closing remark, and we can get out of here. Mr. Ture from New York, Reconciliation, man. Welcome back to the show. Quickly, what's your follow-up comment or question?
Yeah, my follow-up comment and questions. I think my question was not answered to my satisfaction.
Okay.
Because you're talking about injustice. If you go take a man's land that his grandfather left for him, and you start talking about you got to give and take for peace. You cannot rule a country that is in chaos. First of all, you got to make peace. Give the man what belongs to him. Like, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. You go take the man's land from him or his property from her because you have the gun in your hand. Then you're talking about give him. You got to give and take. I still don't understand it yet. Maybe when I give you a call, we can talk on it much better.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Ture. Okay, I really appreciate that myself. I'll take the last follow-up caller for the night. Mr. Tawale, welcome back to the show. Your follow-up question, comment, or concern.
Oh, thank you very much. This is a little comment. Just to pretty much support or follow up with Mr. Ture's question that he gave earlier, and my brother Jeremiah Whapoe very well articulated, but except that I identify some flaw in his statement that got me so much concern. And he, a man of consequence, made a statement addressing how he will foster unity, reconciliation. And just to not bring it down to the point that I raised my concern was, he tried to make it such that if we say we're getting the land from the Gil and the Mano Gil to the Majingo people, then we will not be doing justice. Equally so, if you say, okay, we're giving the land or the Majingo to the Nimba people, I find it disturbing for you to say Majingo against Nimba people. Who is Nimba people
And what is definition of Mandingo? Is it distinguishing them as though they are not Nimbani as well? I was a little disturbed by that. So,
can I make clarification on that real quick?
Is he done? Is Mr. Tawali done?
Oh, yeah. Since he wants to come in, I just try to express that I was a little disturbed by when you say Mandingo people against Nimba people.
Thank you.
No, I didn't say Mandingo people against Nimba. I said Mandingo people, Gio people, or Mana people. Mandingo Mandingo people are citizens of Nimba County. Giome is a citizen of Nimba County. Maname is a citizen of Nimba County. So if Nimba County if Maname will go take Mandingo mainland and sit down and say they're not giving it, that's wrong. If Giome will take Mandingo mainland and sit down and say they're not giving it, that's wrong. But why it is true that it's wrong, how can we find a common ground together? We don't want no fighting anymore. What belongs to Paul will be given to Paul. This is why I said people that belong in this conflict group, they need to sit down and they will bring a solution. If I tell you this is what I'm going to do, I'll be imposing my way on individual tribes. Why can't we bring these people together? Let them sit down at the table and say, look, this is what happened. What happened in our country is wrong. How can we make a difference? The Mandingo tribal man will bring his position on that. The Kyo man will bring his position on that. The Mana man will bring his position on that. They're on a different position. They will be able to derive an amicable solution to that problem. My point there was that the problem that happened between Mandingo man, Gio man, and Mana man cannot be resolved in Ghana nor Guinea. It got to be resolved in Nimba County because they're where they belong. Gio man is a citizen of Nimba County. Mandingo man is a citizen of Nimba County. Mana man is a citizen of Nimba County. So why should we resolve their issue in Ghana? We have to take it among themselves and sit down at the table in their own home and resolve the problem. That was the statement I made. I didn't say Mandingo man or Nimba man. No, I didn't say that. I said Mandingo man, Gio man, or Mana man.
Okay. If I don't ask this text message question, I'll probably have to leave the state of Minnesota because the test has come more than 100 times already since I've been here. Where does your party stand on TRC report? Do you support it or where do you stand on TRC report? From Sayzay Yonly.
Is that a question?
Yeah. Does your party support TRC report implementation, or if so, why? If not, why?
The reason, number one, the reason is that TRC was constitutionally established, and it has its mandate and function, and the mandate and functions were done correctly, and they submitted their report. It was the government of Liberia's responsibility to go by it. So I can proudly tell you this: if this government should take over, like a vote should win, Liberia leadership, we will fully respect that provision that was submitted by the TRC and will implement it. Because it was constitutionally constructed. They were given a mandate and they performed the mandate. It was the government's responsibility to go by the mandate. So we believe in that government, the work that commission did, and we are here to respect that particular provision of the Constitution that established that, and we're going to respect the mandate from there and we'll implement it.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, thank you. You've done remarkably well, but most of our audience has done even a better job. I can't believe how many people we still have online as late as it is. With that said, I think we've come to the end of tonight's show. I'd like each of you to take no more than 2 minutes with a closing remark, just what you wish to leave us with, and then we will go to the Liberia National Anthem, and we will call it a night. So we'll begin with the transformational officer, who happens to be the senior ranking official online, Mr. Jeremiah Whapoe. So 2 minutes closing remarks, sir.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Those of you that took time to come here tonight to hear the new dispensation of leadership, we thank you. And one thing I will tell you is this: the spider web can be very little, very tiny, but when the spider web come together in a united front, they can tie elephant. They can tie even the dangerous animal in the bush, which is lion. Spider web can tie it. We Liberians in the diaspora are considered us to be spider web. Let us come together and liberate our country and increase the lifespan of our people and alleviate poverty and improve technology so our people can live in the nation that they are all long for. I must admit, I would like to tell you this: ego will never hatch a dog. Liberian people, I say this: ego will never hatch a dog. not being able to evaluate people by the consequences of their character before we thrust them into a leadership position. Well, having said that, I would like to encourage all of us. Vision for Liberian Transformation is an institution that is open to all of you people. You have brilliant ideas that you have. Bring it over. We will incorporate it to make the institution better, to give Liberian people the kind of leadership they want. If you want to talk to me personally as leader of this institution, please take my number. My number is 708-256-5086. 708-256-5086. And we are on the battlefront to take Liberia to the destination. Meaning, we do not have gun in our hand. We do not want to carry any violence to Liberia, but we are going to demand our freedom because we want to take care of ourselves instead of being international medics. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you people. And please visit our website, www.vision4liberia.com. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to talking to all of you people.
Thank you. That was 4 minutes, though. 2 minutes, please. Mr. Yonly, next. Mr. Yonly.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm here. Basically, I'm a guy who talks very short. This is the discussion we had. I think was very explicit. We try to encourage everybody to come on board. It's an organization, institution, political party of inclusiveness. So we encourage all of you guys who are listening to become part and parcel of the movement so that we all can get back to work and work towards a greater Liberia that will improve the lives of our people. My number here is 727-688-7676. I repeat, 727-688-7676. As Mr. Whapoe said, the website is there. It's www.vision4liberia.com. And also, you can also get it on Facebook. You can go on Facebook and just go on the search bar and put VOLT, VOLT. Thank you very much, and have a great night.
Thank you, Mr. Yonly. Mr. Samah?
Thank you very much, Mr. Koma, for the opportunity that you've given us to be able to come on your show to tell the Liberian people about our vision for a better Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that freedom is not free. It must be demanded, and it must be earned. We have to work hard for our country. Liberia needs us. We may be comfortable today in America, but our country needs us more. We are strangers in this country. And so in this light, we are encouraging young people, our aunties, our mothers, our fathers, where many Liberians to join this movement. This is an ideology. It is not about Jeremiah Whapoe, otherwise I would not be part of it. It is not about Sayzay Samah. It is not about Clarence Gono. It is not about Isaac Boo. This is a movement. It is an ideology. It is a fight for our people. It is a fight for our children's future. So we are urging all Liberian, peace-loving Liberians. We do not believe in violence. So we believe that Liberia, with all of us working together, that our country can achieve great things. And this is the time. The time is now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Samah. And last but not the least, Mr. Gono.
Thank you so much for hosting us, Mr. Moderator. And I also want to thank everyone who came here to listen to our visions for Liberia. Specifically, I want to tell you, Martin Luther Sr., he traveled to Germany. He got his idea of philosopher Martin Luther. When he returned to the United States, he changed his name to Martin Luther King Sr. Then when his son was born, Martin Luther King Jr., he too said, wow, my father had that inspiration. And then he took that inspiration from his father and he said, I will liberate my people. So then Martin Luther King Jr., when he traveled to Chicago, we had that vision to liberate people in this country, the great United States. He went there and he told the people in Chicago about his vision. He said, look, what are you talking about? We want jobs. We're talking about what? They didn't happy. He was not very serious what he was talking about. When he told people in Chicago that one day black and white would be the same, this and that, people did not believe in him. It's the same thing. It's the same situation that we face right now. We are telling Liberians that we can do something. Some Liberians, like one or two persons said, they were not very impressed as to the kind of things that the internet or hearing from us. Or if you take that back to what people told Martin Luther King or Jr. at the time in Chicago, it almost be the same. That they didn't want to hear what you were talking about. They wanted jobs right away, especially the blacks. Some even black people said they want to kill him. He came to Chicago. So Martin Luther King Jr. was afraid to even go to Chicago at the time. So we are saying that we have this vision, and this vision can work if we all work together. We are encouraging all Liberians who have ideas, best kinds of ideas, to develop our country, to join us. We can do it. We have the capacity. We have the knowledge. We have people who have learned about leadership and are able to go to the bureau and apply those or learn theories, and then be able to achieve something good for Liberia. That's what I mean. I can tell you. You know, I can tell you this. I feel bad everywhere I go, and I don't see Liberians making headways in the academic front. I want to see a lot of Liberians joining together, writing books, go on international forum or fora and then speaking. I want to see that. So I'm telling you, we can do this together. I'm encouraging Liberians to join us and let us carry on this vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whapoe. Thank you, Mr. Yonly. Thank you, Mr. Samah. And thank you, Mr. Gono. We didn't see Mr. Saka Kone or Carlos Rex. Those two didn't make it. I want to thank all of you folks for being here, but most importantly, I want to thank the audience for being here, because if it wasn't for them, we would not be here. There wouldn't be a guest if there wasn't an audience. Vice versa, there wouldn't be an audience if we didn't have the guests. So I want to thank everyone for staying up this late. I'm glad I was able to host your show. My name is Kafumba Kroma, and my number is 612-203-3820. If you or someone you know who ought to be on this show, by all means, please give me a call. Don't hesitate. I know we've hosted a lot of senior Liberian government officials, but it's not only limited to those. You don't have to be government official. You don't even have to be a party official. If you have something that's worth sharing with the Liberian community, by all means, please call me, contact me. We'll arrange it. We'll find a way to bring you on so that you may share your idea. It's been a great show, at least from our end, and I'm delighted we all made it. So on that note, we'll call it a night. Thanks to everyone, and you have a wonderful night. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.